And just like that, he is here. Welcome, everybody. We have Anthony Venture, who magically transported to this live from his own live, where he told you all about Bilt.
Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? In fact, and actually, if you can get my name right, it's not Anthony, it's a dot, or it's just period.
Yeah, Dot. All right, Dot. What's up? How's it going?
It's good. It's
I
going
think I
good.
could adjust it if you want me to.
I said it as Dot. That's
Okay. All right.
That's who I am. That's who I present as. So,
yeah, exactly.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks so much for being here. We were talking a couple of days ago about this really interesting thing. So how this idea started was the frequent miler did a 100K kind of challenge where they were instructing kind of all their employees and all their friends to create any vacation for 100,000 points. And it could be from any point. So you could kind of do 1 point ecosystem for your flights, another point ecosystem for your hotels. But what I wanted to do is talk about 100,000 points with one particular bank. So what I did and what I think you did is we looked at 100,000 points. What can you do for a extended weekend? So 2 nights and with 2 people. What can you do with 100,000 points? And it's really, honestly, the research for this kind of surprised me, honestly. I was not really liking some of the ecosystems that I thought I was going to like. And there came to me a couple of winners. Was that what you found too?
Yeah, I guess it really depends on, the destination, but there are, you'll start to see, like, based on the actual destination, like where the highest value you can possibly get from your points, or even if it's like possible with 100K. Sometimes it's not, but most times I think it is. I think people would be surprised at the amount of places they can go to on just 100,000 points, just in general, like hotels and flights kind of baked into one.
Exactly. Yeah. Hotels and flights. Because that's kind of the stressful thing because, hotel points, they don't go usually as far as some of these points and miles go when you're trying to look for these airfare deals. So that's kind of really kind of stressful too. But yeah, awesome. Do you want to go first? Or do you want me to go first?
So I can. Yeah, I can if you want.
Okay.
So if so I was actually thinking about it, and I may have changed my outlook literally as I'm joining the stream because of the stream I just did talking about Bilt. So I may actually decide to take my Bilt points just because I'm so like, I don't know, I'm just so in the headspace now, and I actually have some of it pulled up.
Okay,
so
yeah, sure.
I was looking at least for me, a trip that I think, one that we want to go back to because we liked it so much, but Washington, D.C. I just think it happens to be a place that a lot of people end up wanting to go to, at least on the East Coast, that, over the years, people have talked about that. And I've actually done like a mini meetup there with like Stan the Credit Frog and CJ and Calby, and like it really opened up the city for me, and it showed me how awesome it was to walk around. Some of the restaurants, like it's such a vibrant, fun city, like way different than what I'm used to in New York City. And so I guess I'll share my screen if you want.
Yeah,
definitely.
And I can add you.
I can kind of showcase at least a couple of things I did and things I would kind of look at. So I was looking at DC, and basically anytime I try to book any particular place, I usually look at the hotels first. Oddly enough, I know some people do like flights and everything just to make sure you can get there, but at least how I just like to get excited, and so I get excited by looking at some of the hotels. And so, like, first and foremost, I'll check some of the ecosystems that I may have. So in this case, I have Hilton pulled up because originally I was thinking, if I had 100K Amex points, I could book a good amount of these hotels, and I kind of go through exactly, well, not only what is the best value for my points, like, is there not so much necessarily like, is there a high cash price for a particular stay? Like, this Embassy Suites that's 80K a night, it's 316 after taxes, probably about 360. Not like the greatest value, like less than 0.5. But I kind of look at where is it in relation to everywhere I want to go. And so I'll kind of zoom in on the map, and I want to see, how close are these particular hotels from the White House? Like this Garden Inn that I'm looking at might actually be better value just because the simplicity of where it is. And so that's more nuanced on like how to pick selections. But basically what I think is, what I've actually been kind of toying with recently is kind of like all in Bilt for 2 main hotel programs. And so if I had 100K Bilt, I can get this trip done. And like, it's like not even funny how easily, because It has two specific partners that do really well in DC specifically, and of course, Phillip has a bunch of other destinations he's going to go through. But at least for me and
Yeah.
my peasant self, my 100K, I know for a fact, as far as hotels are concerned, because this is what I've done, is I can transfer those points to Hyatt via my Bilt program if I have 100K. And if you look at a bunch of the different ones that are in DC,
Uh,
there happen to be some ones that actually have some great value. So I personally, when I went there recently, I stayed in. Wait, I might have zoomed in too much. Might have zoomed in a little bit too much. I stayed in the Thompson, which here it
oh
is.
yeah.
So I stayed in the Thompson, and I thought,
Out by the Navy Yard, right?
yes, yeah,
Okay.
and that's a whole part of the we can probably get into later, which is like what's a better hotel because it's like in where you need to be, it's walkable. But I actually
Yeah.
found this Thompson, even though it's on the outskirts, was somewhat easy walk to certain little destinations all and around that area. They actually have some nice like little walking areas and there's little shops and stuff. But it's an easy Uber ride to like main areas like, the White Houses and all those different things. But I just really love this hotel. Like it has a rooftop bar that I'm literally doing shots with Stanley Credit Card on top of. Like that was a fun, that was ridiculous. Like who thinks that you're going to do that? But only 18,000 points per night, upwards to like 23,000 per night. As a Cat 4, 323 average per night. You're pretty much getting closer with taxes and fees to that. In this case, maybe 2 cents per point. Not the best value, but the idea of 100K points is, can I get a trip done? Not necessarily is it the best value for my points. And so if I know I can get a trip done, I'm really happy. And so it's also a Cat 4, so you can use Hyatt free night certificates here, which is pretty cool. But the way I was thinking about it, I was like, okay, if I have 4 nights, I want to do 4 nights in DC, which is what we actually did. This would be 72,000 points, right? 18K times 4, 72,000 points. And then, okay, now let's say I only have 100K. I have 28,000 points left over. For me, because I live in Charlotte, and again, this can work for many different destinations as well. But at least for me, being here, you're going to see probably one of the cheapest flights you can possibly do is going to be a Charlotte to IAD because it's it's an AA hub. So I can take, I guess in this case, 4,500. We'll call it round trip 18,000 points, and send them all the way over to Alaska Atmos here, and I could book that AA flight from literally an hour drive for me.
Nice.
From Charlotte all the way to IAD or even Reagan as well, and get that done. And I wonder how much is business? Business 18. I don't have enough for business, but I wouldn't say that's worth it for an hour and a half flight. So at least for me, for there, I think that works.
Yeah.
I think we actually, when I did this last, let me get rid of Charlotte. I believe. Oh damn it! I get rid of SFO. But I believe from both of these, you might also be able to get some decent. So yeah, from Newark as well. Because like when I lived in New York, it was a trip that we thought about doing. We ended up going to Florida, but DC is one of them. So EWR, you could fly United, and which also happens to be a transfer partner for Bilt as well. It's like a transfer.
Yeah.
What was it, 7,400? So I guess 30,000 or around about points close to it. I think we have 28,000 left over in account. We're basically there to get that exact same trip done. So we can fly economy, hour and a half flight there and back, and 4 nights in actually a really nice Thompson hotel and enjoy a nice vacation with 100K points. And it's just like domestically and like a place close by. And there's ways to go cheaper, and you can take 100K and go abroad. And Phillip, I'm sure, has a bunch. But that's kind of like my quick gestalt with that.
Nice. I'm glad you talked about DC because for those of you that don't know, I used to live in DC for I think 4 or 5 years. And that Thompson property is really beautiful. I love that property there. It's amazing. I can go ahead and play up. Yep. It is a little far away. The Navy Yard is kind of it's kind of a little walk. You can get there to Eastern Market Metro Station, but that's probably 6 or 7, maybe even 8 blocks. And then you can get to I think there is a Navy Yard stop on the Green Line, but I think that's even 4 or 5 blocks away from that hotel too. So if you are looking for the Metro line, then the Ubers, it's very easy to get to Capitol Hill area, things like that.
Yeah.
But when my wife and I we stay there when we're in the Capitol Hill area, either stay at that Hyatt Regency, which just actually got renovated last year. We were in a brand new room when we were there in July. That was really nice. But 20,000 points is there, but you're also literally like you are actually the closest hotel to the Capitol complex.
Mm.
So if that matters to you, then that's kind of cool.
Hmm.
Let's see. The other one, there's a Capitol Hilton there that actually they have Capitol View rooms on the top level
Hmm.
that are kind of crazy. Like I was actually there 2 years ago. We stayed at that property, and I had to work on something because I work on a political show that we have down here in Florida, and I was working on something for the show, and my boss was like, "I'm sorry you had to do something on your day off," and I just took a picture of me working with the Capitol Hill in the background. I was like, "Dude, this is like
Wow.
my dream. I'm so glad to do this." So
That's awesome.
so yeah, so there's some great. Hyatt is very strong in DC. There's a lot of really good options. The only thing I'm not a fan of is that Park Hyatt is actually it's really cheap points wise. I was able to find some nights where it was like 25,000 points,
Hmm.
but it's closer to Georgetown, which is a little bit kind
Yeah.
of another kind of weak spot when it comes to public transit. You're pretty much riding the bus, which in DC the bus system is not bad, but you know.
Mhm.
I guess we're in the Uber territory now for those properties,
Yeah.
but then you also have a lot of really great experience too with Hilton, right? The Waldorf there used to be the Trump Hotel,
Hmm.
and now it's the Waldorf, and so Anthony Mitchell, I think you made a really great video talking about how awesome that was. So
Yeah, that was
yeah,
fun. That was fun. It's like it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I mean, if you had 100K Amex points and you transfer them all to Hilton, theoretically you can get a couple nights.
yeah,
Are
yeah,
you gonna fly there for 2 nights and stay at the Waldorf? Actually, maybe that might be worth it, but that might have to take into account maybe a free night certificate and everything. But that's also a great location. I remember going there with Calby. We were able to
Mhm.
walk to a few different things, and then we had like those not bird scooters because I think those are done. I think they were actually like Lyft
Lime.
scooters or Lime, yeah.
Oh yeah,
And we were able to take those and like go all the way down to Capitol Hill and stuff. Like that was actually a lot of fun. One of the most fun trips we ever had was going to DC.
yeah.
So I have a good place in my heart for it.
Yeah, that little area on Pennsylvania, because I think that one is only like 2 or 3 blocks from the White House
Yeah.
complex, and then 6 or 7 blocks if you wanted to walk down that way.
Hmm.
But yeah, there's a couple other hotels there. There's a Westin, there's a JW, but the JW is very old. Um, but yeah, no, love DC, love DC. And I'm so glad that you're able to highlight some of the great things. But you also really highlighted some really interesting points, and I think it's that with certain destinations certain point ecosystems are going to be stronger than others just based off of their exposure to transfer partners, right?
Hmm.
Like, for example, if we, like you were talking about flying into Dulles, right, which is pretty far away from the city. It's actually in Northern Virginia,
Hmm.
but it's great for United. But like
Yeah.
DCA is strong for Delta and Southwest, and
Hmm.
and we're actually able to find a couple of direct American flights too.
Hmm.
And so like yeah, so you basically have to figure out, okay, if I'm going to a major city like DC or even New York, which hotel or which airport should I try to track to make sense of? Whereas
Yeah.
some other hotel or some other cities, like you have one airport to work with, and so you got to kind of
Yeah.
figure out how to make that work. But yeah, no, that's a solid effort. I love that.
Yeah.
Okay,
And it
so
kind
you
of goes back to just like, what are you earning? Like, I always like to mention, like, oh, I don't know, can you work yourself backwards? Could you figure out where you want to go months and months and months in advance? It's hopefully you're
yes,
not like,
yeah,
oh, you know what, next month I'm going to go here. If you can plan this out a little bit longer, then
hmm
you can kind of curate what you earn based on that, whatever
absolutely,
cards you maybe go for, cards you spend on. And then, yeah, if it's United, it's United. If it's Delta, maybe it's Delta,
right.
and you can play that game.
Yeah, like I was looking on points, yeah, for some of these things, and like if you are booking out in advance and your dates are a little like kind of flexible, you can say, okay, maybe I'll save 10,000 points off of picking one flight over another or something like
Yeah.
that. And so yeah, there's definitely all those kind of tips and tricks and everything.
Hmm.
So now you went for Bilt. I actually didn't have a chance to look at any of the Bilt situations for my stuff. But my two cities that I was looking at from Orlando to Atlanta. So that's kind of a trip that my wife and I usually go on quite a bit. And I also looked at Orlando to Nashville because I know a lot of people are kind of going to Nashville. There's a lot of up and coming like reasons to go there.
Yeah.
A lot of bachelorette parties are there for some reason.
We gotta
But
crash them.
yeah, that's how we're gonna get John our some money.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
Get
All
them
right.
on get them on one of those where you pedal and they like drink and everything that they go through. That'll be good.
Oh, I
We all
love
do
it. I
that.
love it. Yeah, so I'm going to take a look at Atlanta first. So I went through and I looked at Amex. So I was looking for just some random dates in July. So I figured that was enough out
Yeah.
that it was time to figure out like, okay, where's going well. So what I found actually for Amex partnership, the best one was booking Delta through Virgin Airlines. And so basically because Orlando to Atlanta, there's only so many airlines that actually service that route. It's basically Delta or Southwest directly. If I don't want to stop off somewhere, right? I actually did look at a United itinerary that was like flying into Newark and then flying into Atlanta, which I was like, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah. That'd be crazy.
But yeah. And so I found that was actually a pretty good little sweet spot for the dates that I was looking at. And I think that was like the third weekend in July. And so with Amex, that was actually the best one because it was actually better than if I booked that exact flight through Delta, which is weird because normally Delta is a little bit cheaper than Virgin is. But in this case, it actually ended up being cheaper to go with Virgin, which is good for all of the other transfer partners. Because when I was looking at Chase, like Citi, like they all transfer to Virgin, which means that flight was available across the board. Now with Amex, if we're looking at hotels, right, we're pretty much looking at Hilton because you're not going to transfer one-to-one to Marriott. Now, if we wanted to get kind of in the weeds, you could get a business platinum card and a business checking account and then cash out your points at 1 cent per point and then buy 2 Marriott points for that cent, so there's a way to do that, but in the interest of simplicity, we have to look at Hilton, right? And so I actually did find a really good property, the Candler Hotel in downtown Atlanta, which is actually a really nice hotel. It's not like obscenely nice like Ritz-Carlton or Waldorf, but it's a nice hotel. It's on there. I think it's in their Curio collection. And so this one was 70,000 Hilton points per night, which if I'm staying for 2 nights and Amex is transferring at 1 to 2, that means I'm using 70,000 Hilton points for that stay. Or I'm sorry, 70,000 Amex points for that stay.
Yeah.
So 7,500 points per person per way, 30,000 points, 70,000 points. So that's exactly 100,000 points. And I'm staying in downtown Atlanta for 2 nights and flying there. So
Nice.
yeah. And I feel like that was actually one of the better hotels for some of the programs I was looking at. Well, except for Chase because there's so.
Right. Yeah, it's all destination based too. It's like, in certain cases, it's like for most of these sub 3-hour flights, it's kind of just like getting there pretty much as cheaply as possible, and then experiencing a really nice hotel when you actually get there. There's been so many cases like that, especially Atlanta. They do have some sweet spots with some like really nice hotels. I did stay in the Thompson in Atlanta before it converted to something else. I forget what it converted to. They actually closed it like right after I went, which some people might say is a curse that another curse, but like literally closed right after I went.
Breaking more stuff.
Yeah, and then they turned it into something else. Can't remember what it was. But it was nice. It's like its own destination. Basically, the hotel is the destination, and there's so many different hotels that are like that. Like that, you go there for it's the surrounding area, but the hotel is the place. Like it's fun.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think that kind of goes into like 2 different reasons for traveling, right? Are you wanting a luxurious kind of experience while you're there, or you just kind of like you want to go there and then you just stay kind of wherever, and so you got to decide that. Awesome. So pretty much basic, I'm just going to take a step backward before I go into my experience with Chase and just say, if you're someone who's like trying to figure out what to do with your points, I think both Anthony and I actually offer credit card consultations and travel credit consultations. I know mine are available in the link in the description below. If you prefer Anthony, he's got his website. You can book with him as well. So, but yeah, pretty much the reason why we're doing this is like, I've had a lot of consultations where people are like, okay, I've amassed these points. I've got the gold card at 100,000 points or whatever, what do I do with them? And I think that's kind of what a lot of people are doing.
Yeah, I'll speak to that as well. Like literally like you mentioned, we have the private community now, but that I've had one-on-one, like just talks with them for anybody who's joined in there. And it's like
Yeah.
one thing that I found a little bit over and over, and I think that's what you're saying as well from yours, is a lot of people who are interested in any of those things. It's usually like, yeah, I have 100K, a little bit over 100K points, a few cards, but they just have no idea where to deploy them. And so I was like, we spend so much time talking about the extreme high end, extreme, Michelin star hotels, business, first class flights, and international travel. But I think a lot of the time we end up forgetting that, like, why we got into the games to begin with, which was a lot of just domestic trips near us, to have an amazing vacation. I mean, we think of it so lightly, like this little DC trip that I just like put together, or you put together with like a few Hyatt nights. Like think about the one that I was talking about with the 4 nights in the Thompson and that flight. I mean, the flight, I don't know, maybe it's $500 for maybe a few hundred more than that for 2 people. And the hotel itself is, $350 per night. And so that's like, I mean, that trip alone is like $2,000. Like that's actually a lot of money, but it's like such a small amount of points in the grand scheme of things for us. So I think we kind of take it for granted. So that's why I think it's important. I like that you invited me on for this, because it's important. We forget about the little trips that we got started on, and how valuable it can be. Yeah.
And I love that you said that, because it's not, it's not a little trip. It kind of like, it's a small trip in that it's like, it's not that long. But like when my wife and I, like when we first got married, neither one of us were making very much money. And so like our first trip was to Nashville, and that's why I got my Southwest card, because I was like, okay, we're going to figure this out. And I felt like a winner. Like we got our free flights, and we saved like $600-700, and I was like, yeah, this is awesome, And so like that's kind of the magic of points and miles. And I feel like when we do get lost into this whole cent per point thing, and even like, oh, you got to go to Bora Bora in order to get any real value, I feel like it's some of these trips are definitely more along what people are actually looking for when they talk about credit card points and miles.
Yeah, so you're saying our good friend Daniel from Card Smarter, he's doing too much. It was what we're saying. We're going, he's going to Bora Bora. He's he's doing way too much.
I mean, honestly, like I love, like here's the thing, like I'm definitely not poo-pooing that idea. Like my wife and I, like we are using credit card points and miles. We're going to stay at the Conrad in London for 4 nights. We're going to stay at a Kimpton in Edinburgh for 3 nights. Like we love those big trips, but like some of these small trips and like some of these like domestic trips are kind of just really what people are wanting to be able to experience. And so, 100%.
All day.
All right. I've talked about Amex to Atlanta. Before I go into another bank, did you want to share another bank's kind of results with your trip to DC?
Well, it's for DC. It's like, I mean, either way, I could say, getting there pretty easy with just the AA miles or Alaska miles. I guess if we did, for some reason have some city thank you points for 1,000, I guess that's a good way to think about it too. If I did have 100,000 city thank you points, I could actually pretty much do a very similar thing where, I can transfer X amount of miles, and if I have the Strata Premier, send them over to American Airlines, and I could book that exact same flight that I showed earlier. What was it? I forget what it was, but it was like a cheap amount of points, maybe 15,000, or like 20,000 for round trip. And so I can get that done for the flight. So there is fine. And then as far as hotels are concerned, which is the harder equation, is like, what hotels can you transfer from city to be able to get that trip done? And so I guess you have 2 options. You have I Prefer, and you have Choice Hotels. And I think both are. I think Choice can have a couple. I never really looked at it, but I Prefer for sure has some pretty amazing deals. I would bring it up, but the website's a little annoying to navigate with the points, showing points. But basically, there is a hotel. There's 2 hotels on the I Prefer program right on the wharf, which is like that waterside, and it's like Dave Ramsey's. He's got 2 restaurants there. He's got Hell's Kitchen, and then like some other one that's like lower end. We opted to the lower end one. Yeah, and so right there on the wharf, which is an amazing Like I would love to stay
Yeah.
on the wharf, honestly. There's the Pendry Hotel, which is also
That's another
on.
one.
Yeah, it's also on the Fine Hotels and Resorts program, but it's also on I Prefer.
Mhm.
And then there's another one. It's the Watergate Hotel, which is like the whole Nixon
Yeah.
scandal and all that. So you could also book there with I Prefer. If I remember correctly, I think the Pendry and the Watergate were like 15,000 points a night with like a
Yeah.
$500 cash price, like something crazy. Maybe I'm wrong.
Mhm.
Maybe it's 30. Let's call it 30,000 just to be safe. It probably is 15, but let's call it
It
30.
may have been like 15,000 like city points or something.
Yeah, so I guess the idea is since City transfers the I Prefer to 1 to 4,
Mhm.
if the hotel itself, let's say the I Prefer hotel, this Pendry is 30,000 I Prefer points, you would only have to transfer 7,500 City Thank You points
Yeah.
per night to book there.
Yeah.
And so if you have that, and we'd say we have 70K left over as far as our City Thank You points, I mean, that's almost 10 nights at that particular hotel on the wharf. I mean, you can almost live there for a couple of weeks.
That's it.
So that's
Yeah.
another sweet spot, I think. And you know, that happens to be a destination that it can be rich with their I Prefer destinations. I Prefer only has like, I think like 670 properties worldwide at the moment. So half that of the footprint of Hyatt.
Mhm.
But again, planning in the future, can you figure out what destinations you go to? Can you look real quickly at, let's see all the Hiltons in an area, Hyatt in an area, Choice Hotels, I Prefer, Marriott. Let's check all of these different hotel chains, see what they have, and then kind of go from there. So that's actually, yeah, I didn't really consider that, but City's pretty money with that too, actually.
They are. And I'm going to segue to that and talk about City to Atlanta. So
Hmm.
City obviously is strong with having American Airlines, right? But when I was actually taking a look at American options, they were like you were having to do, go to Charlotte, going to Dallas, and then go on to Atlanta, which is like there's no reason to do all that mess. So I decided actually to use the City points to that Virgin flight, the same one that we talked about with Amex, and we'll talk about them again because Virgin transfers to literally everybody with a pulse. They have no standards when it comes to that sort of thing. but yeah, but City has some great options when it comes to hotels. So Atlanta, despite the fact that it's a huge city, one of the largest cities in the Southeast, actually only has 2 I Prefer hotels that accept I Prefer points. And that's kind of the big deal because there's a lot of I Prefer hotels, but for some reason only 2 of them actually accept points. There's one is the Hotel Phoenix in downtown Atlanta, and then there's one that's like it's some kind of a spa resort like 30 miles outside of Atlanta. So those are the 2 options. So we went with the Hotel Phoenix. It was actually pretty nice. When I was looking at it, it looks kind of like it's like very modern, but like classy modern. So, there's that. And I think, so that was 75. So yeah, I think, anyway, it was, yeah. So 15,000 city. Wait, no, what was I? I'm sorry. I got lost. All right. Yeah. Okay. So that was 37,500 city points for the 2 nights. So I think it was like 75,000 I Prefer points per night, and so that ended up actually being between that and my 30,000. I only used 67,500 city points for that same stay. So 2 nights in Atlanta, getting there, getting back, and so and that's the thing. Like, so I used 100,000 Amex points, or for the exact same essential trip, right? I'm staying in different hotels. I'm only spending 67,000. So literally, what, 2/3 of the point value? Like, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, that really is insane. The value there is crazy. Are those in good areas?
Yeah.
Those ones? Those
So
particular
that
ones?
was downtown, like more in the business side of downtown. So not in the grungy hospital side of downtown.
Gotcha. That's yeah. I'm so excited to get some freaking City Thank You points, man. Honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, city points are really, really huge, and it's the only way you can really earn them reliably is just on spend, which is kind of that's what Bop says, or Carrie, is that his name, Carrie, or Watchmaster?
Yeah. Well, okay. Bob Carey, as we called him at the Caribe.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Now, okay, so let's take a look to Atlanta. So I did a recent video where I ranked a bunch of these points. We're going to see some similarities there, but I do want to talk about Capital One because Capital One is kind of weak to domestic partnerships, and they're also weak to hotels. And the reason why they're weak to hotels is that they're really not that good. I prefer
Mm.
is 1 to 2, and compared to cities at 1 to 4. And so that means that, basically a Capital One Venture Mile is exactly as half as valuable as a city point
Mm.
if you're looking at those kind of hotels. And then Choice is also kind of weak as well because that's 1 to 1. And so, you got to figure that out. But
Yeah.
so Capital One, for the same trip, I used the same Virgin flight, the 30,000 points round trip. And then, so I couldn't say that I prefer hotel anymore because 1 to 2 would mean that I would be about 5,000 points over my budget for the trip,
Mm.
which meant that I had to go to Choice at 1 to 1. Choice 1 to 1 is a terrible conversion, but in order to actually make this trip happen, sometimes you got to eat the point value a little bit. But the best one there was one hotel in the Ascend collection with Choice. Sorry, Sadie is really trying to find a way for me to get her attention. Yeah, no. So anyway, so Choice has one hotel in the Ascend collection in Atlanta, and that was the Connolly Hotel, and so that was going to be 30,000 points per night, which is reasonable. So 60,000 Capital One Venture Miles for the 2 nights, and then 30,000 points for the flight means 90,000 points for the same weekend. And
Nice.
regrettably, at a somewhat lower tier hotel, but not terribly lower. So.
One thing you're already kind of highlighting by going through some of these redemptions, I like how you have, we've done multiple options for the same destination. And I think one thing that it highlights is like, you can I think too many people get afraid early on, like what ecosystem should I start with? And outside of just, okay, Chase 524, let me prioritize that. Like outside of that, what I found over time is with all of these different ecosystems is if you just go like really hard with one, you will find most redemptions. You'll be able to get most redemptions done because a lot of these overlap and some of them have their own sweet spots and all those different things.
Absolutely.
So it's like most of these destinations, especially in the US, like you can pretty much get done with any ecosystem. So that's why I'm also I don't really care as much to segment as much. Like, oh, I'm one currency kind of guy. Like
Right.
I'll go really hard for a little bit on one ecosystem and then just go hard with it. But then there'll be times where, like the Capital and Venture, like I had no Venture miles at all, but I just decided to go for it. What ended up happening? I ended up using those excess Capital One miles transferred to Aeroplan, and then I was able to supplement the trip that was with my Chase points or Amex points, what have you.
Yeah.
So it all eventually connects.
And I love that you mentioned that because those common transfer partners are one of the things that I really, really recommend with people that are just starting out in the credit card game, right? So if you're like, when people come to me, they're pretty much, like I've got maybe a Chase Freedom Unlimited and then a Sapphire Preferred, and then I have the green card. What do I do with my points? And yeah, like those common carriers are going to be where you're looking for, like Virgin, Air Canada, things like that, where you can combine your Chase points and your Amex points into something that's actually kind of meaningful and really helpful. So great point you made. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And of course, with Atlanta, like I have to talk about Chase. So the only real difference there was access to Hyatt, honestly, and that's great for Bilt as well. And so, but the Grand Hyatt in Buckhead is the best hotel that I could actually book and stay within with the points, just because if I went, for something more, it ended up actually going over my point kind of total. But this one was the Grand Hyatt in Buckhead was 15,000 points per night, and so 30,000 points total, and so 60,000 Chase points for this trip, and that was probably the better of the hotel options, honestly.
Yeah, and that's a great hotel. There's been many times I almost booked it because, you can use a free night there. It's Cat 4. It's good spot. They have
If
a
I
nice,
was globalist and I could
garden.
get free parking, I would stay there in a heartbeat.
Is there expensive parking there? I never actually even thought about
Buckhead
it.
is pretty much at least $40 a hotel per
Damn.
night.
That makes sense. Wealthy area.
Seriously, yeah.
Damn.
But yeah, so like if you to take a look at kind of the point total winners, we're looking at City and Chase for this trip. Just because the hotel the hotel partners are just really strong, at least for what I was able to find in Atlanta. So
absolutely. And it's do that at home too. Like any destination you're trying to go to, just check every check your, go on your seats.aero like I
Yep.
showed earlier, check all the,
Absolutely.
the big 4 or 5 hotel chains. I think it becomes pretty clear at that point. It takes a little bit of time. Eventually, your eyes bleed a little bit, but then you're like, all right, let me look. And then you wake up the next morning, you do it again. You're like, all right, this all makes sense to me now.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's good training, I think.
I do want to actually just kind of go off of that because I know you're really a fan of Seats.aero, and Seats.aero is really great, especially if you're looking for Qantas and kind of those kind of partners. But one thing that I've kind of experienced a little bit of success with has been Points. Yeah. Have you used them at all?
Not really. I mean, I have the free year.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I mean, I have the free for with my my Amex card, my Amex Platinum. Actually, Amex School. I think. Yeah, I forgot when I had it, but with the Platinum card. But I just Points. Yeah. No, sorry. I have the free with the Points.me. Never actually used Points. Yeah. Never did use Points. Yeah, before. So this is new to me. I'm learning some stuff now. Let's see.
Nice. All right. So if I wanted to go, let's say I'm going from Orlando, just because it's my home airport. Love to talk about Orlando, and it's actually, if you're gonna try to stay at a place for points and miles, Orlando's not bad. Everyone flies there. I have equal access to United, Delta, American. Like, it's amazing. But anyway, yeah. So pointsya.com. So basically, what this is, I'm looking at economy, and I'm looking at let's just do August. All right. So what it's going to do is it's going to show me some options. So let's say here, if I wanted to, if I wanted to go to Raleigh, Durham, I could get there for 8,600 points, and it'll tell me how I can make that happen. So if I have transferred points to Delta, I can make that happen too. Let's see, pretty much just, here we go. Virgin Flying Club, presumably it's still going to be that same Delta flight for 11,000. And so we have a bunch of different ways to kind of see what my options are. And it's kind of in a way that makes it a little bit easier to kind of plan out. It's like, okay, if I wanted to go, let's say, to Provo for whatever reason, 7,500 points. Now this is where American's really strong, right? And so this is awesome. So 7,500 points, $5 in fees at American Airlines. Etihad is 40,000 points. I don't know if I'd want to use 40,000 points in Etihad to go to Provo, Utah, but you can do it.
Wow, this is actually really innovative.
It is. It is crazy.
Can you could you go back there? Wait, hold on. Oh, that's interesting. Never mind. It was an ad, but it's for some reason it had something interesting on there. Wow, this is cool. So you can you can go to other countries too and click.
Oh yeah, whatever. Absolutely. So let's say if I wanted to do to anywhere in Europe, right? So let's say if I was looking in Europe let's just do the month of August again. Pretty much it shows us here. Now, these 88s are not errors. Unfortunately, there are now no longer any transfer partners in the United States, thanks to Mesa, that go to Lufthansa. So you could with Mesa, but you can't anymore. But 88 points plus $195 to go to Spain. So
wow, that's I love this.
Yeah, it's an amazing tool. Let me see if I can hit back. There we go. Okay. Now, if we were looking into France, though, now this is for economy, so that needs to be noted. But if we were looking at France, now we can see from Orlando, that would be 19,000 points, 16,000 points from, what is that, Dulles? Yeah. And then from there, it gives you dates. And so it'll tell you if there's a stop, you can see who's doing it, how to book it. Oh, this is cool. So 22,000 points. Oh, actually, so it's more in. Okay, yeah. Oh, this is direct. That's nice. I would pay a little bit more in points to go direct, honestly.
Yeah, all day. Wow. I can't believe that. The UI is so freaking awesome. Like, it would be like, okay, this is the destination, and then fly from these airports, and you can visually see. That's like crazy, actually. That's so much better. I mean, Seats.aero is great, but you have to, in certain cases, know where you're searching from. But this actually just showcases it in an easy way. I wonder if it's like, this would be an interesting video, a side topic, but JP Knowledge is in here. I wonder, you should do a time where it'd be like points.yeah versus JP knowledge, like a speed test to
Oh,
see
yeah.
how fast he can get a redemption done, like the best value, and then see point,
Yeah.
because he knows the sweet spot that maybe these websites don't show.
That's
So
true.
I wonder.
And
That'd be funny.
like for example, like I knew about the Cathay thing because of watching Luke. He was really big into Cathay a couple months ago, and so I started watching them. But that redemption of Cathay on British Airways metal hasn't actually shown up anywhere else, and so you know, you do have to be aware of some of those those sweet spots on your own. So doom scrolling on Reddit and Flyer Talk really will help. Yeah.
I mean, I think that's an amazing tool. Like anybody who just gets on, like that seems like a sponsored segment. This is literally my first time looking at points. Yeah. But it's
Maybe I
like,
should talk to them.
I think you should. There's no referral links or anything.
No, I don't have anything yet.
Damn. Oh, we're gonna have to figure that out. But but that's so interesting, because one thing that I would tell people, like in for seats.aero, like I have a whole like little course on it, but it's like basically everything that you would want to know about it, and so in there I'm like, get familiar with certain routes. So just like type in random routes, things that seem interesting to you. Just like type in. That's all I did when I first got started. And then you start like familiarizing not only like just airport code names, like it's like Orlando MCO, like that's actually like a thing that goes under the radar. Just knowing that, but also what routes make sense for which, what airlines go where. You figure out the hubs and everything like that. But this visually makes it so easy. Like Don Kim mentioned I guess the Daydream Explorer feature. I guess when you go in there, you could just, what you're doing, just go throughout the whole map, click a bunch of things, and just like you get so familiar with it. I feel like that's a really good tool to have to familiarize yourself with the game. I'm about to download.
It's still really easy to get from New York to Milan too. So.
Oh, nice. Yeah, just hopefully. Well, not with Emirates anymore, with a double or triple the taxes, but
that's true. Yeah.
God.
But yeah, that's cool. I love points. Yeah. All right, so let's actually go ahead and respond to some of the comments here, because we do have a couple that I just wanted to talk about. We have some people saying that they're here. Thanks so much for everybody that's being here. 91 people are in the room. Go ahead and hit that like and subscribe like button. Hopefully you've already subscribed. So Tyler's Credit Card Tips is here. Tyler was on here last weekend or 2 weekends ago.
Yeah,
great guy. He actually just made a really cool redemption to Mexico that he was talking about.
Nice. Very cool.
Kirby throwing the shade. Look at these dweebs talking credit cards on a Saturday. Only thing more loserish is getting notified of a credit card live stream and immediately dropping everything to watch.
Hey, Kirby, did you beg those girls at the bar that night that you were talking up on one of those streams? He was like, calm down, babe. I'm trying to watch Anthony Ventura live. I want to hear
that's amazing. How'd that do?
Yeah.
All right. And then Tyler's saying he feels that Stinky Monkey, love Stinky Monkey, saying it now, baby. Bilt City and Atmos points are the best to earn and redeem in 2026. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely looking that way.
All day.
All right. Let's see here. Dim's here. Good afternoon. Getting a manicure and pedicure currently. Take notes, boys. It's not just for the ladies. Yep.
It's claw.
I actually, so there's a kind of a luxury kind of men's thing chain down here called Hammer and Nails, and they actually have like really cool pedicures and stuff, and so that's where I go to get my beard trimmed. I don't have to go to get my hair cut anymore, but
No, it's not. It's you don't shave it anymore.
No, yeah.
Well,
no, I don't look good without a beard, so
it's all right. We're waiting for Daniel Sparks for that to happen to him soon. He always complains.
Yeah, he's fighting.
Yeah, he's fighting. Brady,
thanks so much for being here, Brady. Stinky Monkey, like Tony says, besides earning 3x on bananas and credit card conversations, what else is there to do on Saturdays? Yeah,
all day.
Chad's Money Minutes is here. Thanks so much for being here. Phil Mo agrees with you that Thompson in DC is very nice. And yeah, it is on FHR as well. So that's nice.
A lot of Thompsons are, and they're always like amazing value. I love because a lot of them have the rooftop bar and restaurants. And so when you have FHR, you can cover a lot of drinks or just like a nice breakfast up there for the sunrise, a nice dinner. It's like, it's actually, Thompsons are like my wife's favorite brand of hotel to go to. She's all about it.
They are definitely a good one. See, Quad is focusing on cash back this year. Definitely really
Hmm,
solid. I actually used my Robinhood Gold card today, so I
really
haven't used it in a while. But yeah, I had to pull it out, get it some
nice.
air. So, Mad Matt, OMG, love a day with too many lies to attend all of them. Yeah, that's amazing. Juan
And
Garcia is here. Awesome.
Garcia.
Vincent, hey, Philip and Anthony, what's up? Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you as well. Thanks so much for being here. Yeah, Stephen Baker says, I was stationed at Fort Myer and I loved visiting DC. Just too expensive to live there. Yeah, it is expensive to live there, I can tell you. I
Huh.
was in a row house in Capitol Hill and I was sharing the house with 7 other guys. So, like,
Wow.
it was a full house. My share of the rent was $1,100.
You said 7 other guys in the house. How
Yes.
many how many beds were there?
We each had our own bedroom, like, but they like
Okay.
partitioned out like the living room into bedrooms and stuff. So like it was basically just it was like there was a kitchen and then there was everyone's bedrooms basically.
Gotcha. That's pretty crazy.
Um,
Hmm.
yeah, it's expensive though. And oh,
Eleven
James is
hundred.
asking.
Holy crap!
Yeah, I
I
mean it was
just caught
Capitol
that.
Hill.
I just
Yeah,
caught that 1,100 for
yeah.
one bedroom sharing with 7. Holy crap! That's
We
crazy.
were on Fourth and Independence though, which
Uh,
was 2 blocks away from the Capitol South Metro Station, and it was a block away from like the Capitol Visitor Center. So not bad,
wow.
not a bad location.
Wild. Huh.
Yeah. Sorry, my dog is getting into something that I actually need to intervene on. So talk amongst
Well.
yourselves.
All right, guys. What do you guys want to talk about? James Nayon says, "Is it more food?" Too bad I can't click on the. It's only he can click on it. But is it more the food or the housing costs? Um, that's pretty interesting. Something interesting. Stephen Baker. Maybe you have the answer to this. But he said he was stationed at Fort Myer, and one thing I found that was interesting is there's so many Bakers with the last name Baker, and they're always in the military. I don't know why. Every time I meet like
Oh yeah,
name
good
Baker,
point.
they always end up in the military. So what's the deal with the Baker last name?
Yeah, that's a really good observation. Stephen
Thanks.
saying, Stephen saying both. I have a larger family, so good spin is up. Yeah, it's spaces at a premium for sure.
Hmm.
Okay. What is the best transfer partner? You get the best rewards. Red Redemption to go to Amsterdam. Okay, so let's see.
So I did do little searches on the back end, but I would love to
Uh,
see points, yeah, to see because so let's see if points, yeah, it does it better. Because I was looking on
yeah.
seats and I checked throughout all the coasts, and it really seemed like you can get there extremely easily. And now I've done my own searches for Amsterdam, so I know there's better sweet spots to go to like a nearby country, like maybe go like in your case, go to a London or go to one of these,
Mhm.
countries that can easily go straight over, or like honestly like probably one of the better ways is to fly into Germany first because you can get some really easy money premium economy business class flights out of
Oh
like a
yeah.
lot of East Coast places, get into Germany, and then it's a very easy flight into Amsterdam from there. Direct, however, on at least points seats that air on my quick searches and ones in the past, you can get there very cheaply economy with some Virgin. You can get like 12,000 points
Mm,
per in economy from like
that's not bad.
Boston and a few places, which is not bad because it's like a
Hmm.
7-hour flight. But as far as
American's
premium
not
and
bad either.
business, yeah, if premium business, nothing amazing. He did mention from Vegas. The only one I found business class like direct from Vegas was um, it was Virgin business class 87,500 per, but with like 500 in taxes.
Let's
Um,
take a look at business and see. Okay, here's one from Pittsburgh. Okay, $1,000. So that's going to be bad.
yeah, I
thousand
should say,
dollars.
yeah, avoiding the
Yeah,
crazy taxes.
everything. Okay, so everything's going through Heathrow basically.
Yeah.
Here, and here's another cool thing about man, Max or Points. Yeah, you've got to be paying me because we're gonna show you this,
Oh
so you
wow, I
can
like that.
maximize the taxes that you pay. Here we go. Philadelphia. Okay, 55,063 dollars. Let's see.
Hmm.
So there's two. It's a boy. That is not a fun itinerary though.
Oh geez.
Uh, It's
Yeah.
business from Philly to Heathrow on American, and then British Airways the following day from Heathrow to Amsterdam.
Yeah, you're
Let's
almost
see if
always
there's a
better
better one.
off doing a
Yeah,
positioning country first and then,
yeah.
straight into Amsterdam. It's because I looked in the past, it's like, they don't have many I mean, if I'm not mistaken, let me look. I feel like maybe Canada might have had something. Um, let me see.
Tampa has some interesting options. Oh, that's okay. That's Tampa in first to Philly, 6 hour layover, 5 hour layover in Heathrow, and then into Amsterdam. So that's still a 22-hour flight.
Yeah. Not even, honestly. Let me check
Let's see if
one
we were
more
going
thing.
from. Let's see. What about
Yeah.
the West Coast? So Salt Lake City. Let's take a look at that.
Yeah.
Oh,
It
still
really
not
looks
bad.
like straight Virgin,
Yeah.
for the most part, for the lowest taxes and fees. If you're trying to do direct.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Virgin's not bad. All right. Sweet.
Yeah.
All right.
But the
Great points
position
there.
country thing is huge, I think, for a lot
Yeah.
of
No.
cases,
Totally.
especially Amsterdam, for
Mm-hmm.
whatever odd reason. Not even like, you would think Atlanta could have some good redemptions, but really nothing. Too amazing, I should say. But economy is so cheap. Like, you can fly
It
economy, easy
is.
money. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe it has to search out a little bit further. I was doing like 6+ months out, but yeah, 12K each one way,
Not bad.
$100
Yeah.
taxes. Yeah.
I'm a little too horozontally challenged to be able to do economy comfortably, but
Well, right. That's right. Yeah.
yeah. The background. Cal made it out of the Sparks dungeon.
That's right. Last time we did this, we were
He finally
in
let
his
us out.
dungeon. Yeah. Lucky.
And also saying legends, thanks so much. Dem saying can't talk, play too many games to get city points. Spin is your best bet. Currently have about 1.6 million thank you points. So Dem
Jeez.
here dropping the just dropping the mic over here.
That's crazy. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
that's got to be an insane amount of spend. Huh.
Ooh, Kirby has 154,000 AA miles. Where should he go? That's a good question. Let's pull out our helpful friend here.
Let's see.
So Kirby, where do you want to go? Actually, American might be good if we go to Japan, right?
Yeah. He can find some, you can find some Japan Airlines flights, from a few different, from both coasts all the way
Mm-hmm.
out there. Um, with your AA miles for sure.
Wow,
Um,
it's actually cheaper from Charlotte. Yeah, 60,000 points per seat from Charlotte. One stopover in SFO, which is it'd be nice if we could actually find that SFO to H&D flight and see how much that one was, because there's no point in Kirby flying all the way across the country.
yeah, yeah, and
Yeah, that
he's
one's a little bit more in points.
yeah, yeah. So it's a terrible itinerary, or
Yeah,
a
for
little bit more
him.
expensive. I mean, at least to get like some good sweet spots from AA to get out there.
Mm-hmm.
More often than not, I always have to check either JFK or D or SFO. And I mean, we've talked about it a bunch of times, but as far as like JAL business class, that's sub 1 month out, sub 2 weeks out, to find some good redemptions. I honestly told him, like I mentioned earlier, premium economy to freaking Germany from Charlotte, 45K is easy money, but I forget he's in California.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
he's
to
forget he's out there now.
HKK. All right, let's New Zealand. All right.
Or BKK.
Oh, you said BKK. Oh, okay.
Mhm.
All right. I was like HK. Okay. All right. BKK. There we go.
We know why he's
All
going there.
right. For a thing.
Yeah.
Oh, not showing anything. Okay. All right. That's not going to be helpful. All right.
Let's see some direct flights.
James saying the quiet part out loud.
Check on my end. You get some. Hmm, yeah. Oddly enough, Canada can get some decent redemptions in a lot of cases. But at least for him, yeah, obviously he'd have to position. But there's some cheap,
Yeah.
these somewhat cheap economy flights to Thailand from Vancouver. Um, some from JFK, but they're not direct. But for where he's
Yeah.
going, yeah, not going to be as easy. I mean, his closest positioning would be Seattle, and you can get some
Mhm.
Alaska to get out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you'll have
So
some
one of the things
layovers.
that I want to get your opinion on. So we in the past when we've done positioning flights, we've done flown into one airport the day before, stayed over, and then flown out on like the reward flight the following day.
Hmm.
And this coming trip, we're flying in Delta into JFK, and then I think 3 hours later, we're flying out of JFK to Heathrow. And so like it's what do you think? Do you prefer to have a buffer day, or do you just kind of let's just see what happens and hope everything works out right?
So you're saying that your positioning flight, you would rather have like a full day buffer to make sure you get there on time and everything like that?
Yeah, like so I'm asking, would you prefer to get there a day ahead of time or just do
Hmm.
it on the same day and see what happens?
Um, Let me think. So I have I done both ways? I don't know if I have done it both ways. I think every time I've done it, it's always been the same day.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I think I just, some people don't want to. They're like, I just got off of whatever flight. I don't want to do another one. Um, I kind of think like if I'm already flying, then let me just continue flying. I'm already in the zone for it, so I kind of just
There you go.
continue.
That makes sense.
So I think the last few times that I have, like I did a positioning from Charlotte to JFK to fly to Milan. I was there. So my problem is I'll get there too early because I get worried, and then it's like I have 8 hours, and it's like it really ruins everything.
Yeah.
So I would say I think I should start making that a little bit less, maybe like 4 hour buffer. But I just assume delays and stuff like that. But 4 hours is probably fine.
Yeah.
And then what was the other time? I had to. Well, a lot of time I'll do some positioning drives, but when we went to Greece, I did a positioning flight to London first, and then from London we went over to Athens, and that was also like terrible, just because the flight was at 10 o'clock and we got there at 8 a.m. So we had to wait like 14 hours in London just hanging out before we
Oh
went out there.
no.
So it depends how long it is.
Yeah.
Like if I could have done that differently, I would have gotten there the day before. I would have stayed in London overnight and then went. It was just way too much stress without it. Ended up being fine.
Yeah.
Um, but it depends how
Okay.
long like a layover would be. But for the most part,
Yeah.
yeah, if it's within a few hours, I'll try to get there same day and then fly out that exact same day as well, and then sleep once I get to the
Okay.
destination. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. That's good to know. Dem says I prefer a day ahead or going to Singapore out of Seattle and getting there the day before. Yeah, for that kind of flight, I would definitely say
Mm,
maybe that
yeah.
would be a little bit harder to replace if you had to get bumped.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because it's different itinerary, right? So we're flying into Delta, in with Delta, flying out with British Airways, and so that's just yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully everything goes right.
Yeah, right.
But anyway, okay, so we're getting a little afield. So I definitely I looked up another city too. So I looked up
Mm,
flying MCO to Nashville. And I kind of wanted to go over some of the things because there were some things that were similar, and there were some things that were a lot different with this other city. So again, just for everyone who's kind of going over the main point of this video is 100,000 point extended vacation trip or extended weekend trip. So 2 nights at a hotel, two person flights, the whole 9 yards for 100,000 points. So on Amex, the best way that I was able to actually find it was Qantas redemption for American Airlines Metal. Now that had a CLT trip, but round trip was 54,800 points. So right off the bat, getting there with Amex points was a little bit harder. Just because, Southwest does direct for us, but they're not American Express partners, right? And so that was definitely kind of it took a lot, right? Which meant that I had to be a little bit cheaper on the hotels. So I was looking at the cheapest Amex or Hilton property was an Embassy Suites by the Nashville airport, which is outside of the city, but not terribly far. I think it's like 20 minutes. So not terribly bad if you're not terribly bad if you are renting a car or something like that. So that ended up being, let's see, 45,000 Amex points. So 45,000 Hilton points per night, 45,000 Amex points total. And so that was 99,800 points for that entire trip. So, for 100,000 Amex points, you can stay at the Embassy Suites in Nashville Airport. So
that's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad, but it gets the trip done. But compared to Chase, though, now Chase with Atlanta was a lot better, right? And I was able to stay at a much better property, but only spent I spent 30,000 points less, right? However, for Nashville, that kind of changed a little bit. So Chase doesn't have Qantas as a transfer partner, so I had to rely on Virgin, and this was 15,000 points per person per seat, so 60,000 points for the round trip flight, which left me 40,000 points for the stay, right? So I ended up picking out the Caption by Hyatt. It was 18,000 points per night, and then for that it was 96,000 points per trip. So Chase, a lot better when you're traveling to Atlanta, not so much better when you're traveling to Nashville, which is interesting, at least based on what I was able to find.
And just for the flights, you mean?
Yeah, just because the flight wasn't, I had to rely on Virgin. I didn't find any other kind of better option to make that flight in July. And so that was kind of the main thing that was, gumming up the works there.
Yeah.
City, though, this is actually a good trip for them. So they have AA. So I was actually able to book that trip directly through AA. And so that was 6,500 points per person per way. So 26,000 points for the flights. And of course, this was still flying into Charlotte and then flying into Nashville. So who knows? City was actually really good. However, they also have City has one I Prefer hotel in Nashville, and that is the Hermitage. That was 100,000 I Prefer points per night. So 25,000 City points. So 50,000 City points for the 2 nights. And the Hermitage is a nice hotel, right? That is probably one of the nicer hotels on my itinerary for this list. So that was really nice. Let's see. So 76,000 points for the trip. So far for this trip, City is actually winning at least the points thing, because not only is it really easy to earn them on spend, but they go a little bit further than some of these other currencies that we're finding too. Now Capital One, so we had to rely on Qantas as the transfer partner. So that was 54,800. So I Prefer was out because we had to rely on Choice at 1-to-1. There was a Radisson hotel by the airport, 15,000 points per night, so 30,000 points, and then 84,800 points for the total. So for Orlando to Nashville, City actually ended up working out really, really well. Yeah,
that Hermitage is a really nice hotel.
Yeah,
out there.
Although I do have to say, I was excited about the Virgin Hotel because I was going to try to finesse this thing a little bit. 30,000 points per night for a chamber room, which is like their base model room. Not bad. But then again, it would be 1-to-1 for a lot of these places, which wouldn't be as good for like City or something like that. So that's important to note as well. But it could have been stronger for Hilton, definitely.
Yeah. I don't know if you mentioned it, but at least for Hyatt, every time I've gone to Nashville, Phillip just paid $59 to the Southwest flights. What are you playing around with for?
Yeah, we're trying to use Monopoly money in the epic words of Kirby.
Yeah. Whenever I've gone to Nashville, there was some nice hotels. I was searching other things while you were mentioning about the hotels for them, but I know the 2 particular ones that are really nice. One is the I think it's the Holston House.
Oh yeah, that one is good. Yeah,
that one was cool. Not Kirby, Calvi booked there once when we were there. And it's like a rooftop pool, rooftop bar, and everything. But every time I've gone there, though, I've actually gone super cheap option. I got that, and I would do the Hyatt House by the airport. So I think it was like I don't know, 9K points a night or something like
Yeah,
that, or maybe
not
even
bad.
a little less. But you know, if you want to get a lot of days in, that's a great place. And actually, I drive there every time, and they have an EV charger there, so I always like capitalize on
Nice.
that.
There
It's
you
a good
go.
place. Hmm.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, and both you and Filmo bring up really good points, right? So sometimes maybe you just pay for the flight. You know, you could always transfer your Bilt points to Spirit and and do that one too. You
That's
know,
true.
but yeah, and then of course, you know, driving is also an option too. Like you can use just your points for hotel stays, and that kind of becomes kind of a force multiplier in that respect too.
Yeah, absolutely. Hmm.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. I think you have actually been working the comments a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's okay. So yeah. Wife just got her. Okay. Dim says wife just got her pilot's license. That's awesome. I would love to get a Cessna. Although I will say in Florida we have a surplus of two things. We have a surplus of old people, and we have a surplus of really, really, really old planes. And old people driving old planes means that old people in old planes fall out of the sky pretty regularly. About twice a month, we have an airplane crash on
Really?
a highway. Yeah,
Jeez. Oh, I actually saw a recent Cessna that did that. I think CJ sent
yeah.
it to me
He
in
landed
Florida.
on a plane. Yeah, that
Yeah.
was actually we got that video from the guy who did it, and then my news agency was able to. That did really well for us.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, so yeah, so honestly, yeah, just make sure that you keep that service up to date. So you know.
Yeah, hit up John, honestly. John knows everything about Cessnas and flying
Oh
and all
yeah.
that.
Okay. Nice. All right. So at least a few hours buffer just in case something wrong. Yeah, I agree with that. Let's see. JP Knowledge saying LAX to BKK doesn't exist. Okay. I think Kirby is messing with you. Okay. Yeah. What do you think about Vancouver positioning for BKK? Okay. It seems like oh yeah. So this is a good point. Nicholas saying seems like Virgin points are very valuable. What is your opinion about Virgin points?
Yeah, so Version, you've actually honestly highlighted a lot of it for me. You know, it's always been in the periphery over the years. Never really like I always knew like you can get some great redemptions, but you've done just a lot of great ones over time. So just maybe look at them a little bit more, and just
Yeah.
exactly how flexible they actually are, for not only you know, international flights like you've been doing to Europe, but also honestly, well, I looked at a lot of inter-country travel back when I was
Oh
booking those
yeah.
particular things with Virgin out there, like between, you know, the Amsterdams and all those. I think it'd be good, but also just like flying domestic, you know, via Delta with your Virgin points are really good value. So they just seem like extremely versatile, especially also on the East Coast.
Oh yeah.
But they
Definitely.
just kind of they're just a good currency for like domestic and international. I found most times every time I looked at them, you know, obviously they'll still be depending on where you're landing, you know, still be hit with high taxes and fees. Not as, you know, it's not a Cathay,
Yeah.
but it's I think they're great. And it's just like, again, you could always top up from any of the other currencies to kind of get a redemption done from every other
Absolutely.
ecosystem. And
Yeah.
that's why it's powerful.
And if you are exposed to a lot of different bake points, like Virgin had what four different like actual transfer bonuses this year or this past year. They had one with Capital One. They had one with Chase, I think with Citi, and with Amex. So, you know, that's good to know too. Point Hound is really good for searching Virgin availability. So we can see for, I did a search from MCO, Atlanta, JFK, and Miami. Tampa is also a good airport for them, searching for Heathrow and Manchester from August to November. And they showed us a bunch of flights that are 6,000 points. Now, this is to travel across the ocean, 6,000 points.
Yeah.
Now, of course, it's an
Jeez.
economy, right? But nonstop from JFK to London, all sorts of fun days. Like basically, pick your day pretty much, and you can find these saver fares. Now, if we kind of made it premium economy, this is where things get a little bit more interesting. So you can see premium economy seats for 13,500, 13,000 points, 13,000 city points, Chase points, Amex points, Bilt points. Like they all get you this premium economy seat. Now, premium economy seat I really love because it's kind of our baseline, but it's domestic first class. Basically, they still give you the nice food. They still give you unlimited alcohol, which is unlimited. I've tested it, and they give you access to this, what they call it, a wonder wall, and it's basically unlimited snacks and drinks, and you just go up and pick it up and take it back to your seat, and it's just amazing. And if you sit in the like close up in the premium economy cabin, you actually get access to the business class bathrooms, which are a little bit bigger. And then each of the times that I've flown premium economy seats, they've allowed premium economy people to sit in the bar at the it's supposed to be for upper class passengers, but they'll let you hang out.
And this is on Virgin?
Yeah.
Wow. Very cool.
Now the taxes were $237 a person, so that's important to note too. But that's nice. Now, if you want to upgrade to upper class, what can we find? 29,000 points. 29,000 points from Atlanta to Manchester, Miami to London, 30,000 from Atlanta to Manchester, Atlanta to London, 31,000. Now, of course, the taxes and fees, $580. So that's
terrible.
Yeah, like if you have it, you may be able to even cash out some of the points and use it that way. You'd still be really far ahead, like the cent per point wise, because these seats are like 3,000 or 4,000 per person. Now, if it's round trip, they're kind of half that, but that is just the way things work with this kind of route. But Virgin points are really good. But then also you got the Virgin hotels, which there aren't that many of them, but they are in good places. There's one in Miami, there's one in New York, a couple in London, one in Edinburgh, and Nashville. There's one too. I don't know if I said that, but yeah. And then of course there's the Virgin Voyages, which are actually pretty awesome.
Yeah, if I ever came into a large sum of Virgin, that would be an interesting use case. 100 or 90K a piece, I think, for like a 5 or 7 day cruise, if it is with Virgin. Yeah.
Every once in a while they'll target, like they'll give saver fares for those. And my wife and I, we saw a 14-day Mediterranean cruise for 550,000 points.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Dang.
Now 550,000 sounds like a lot. It is a lot, right? But if you take into account a 40% transfer bonus, it's actually really only like 300,000, maybe 350,000 Amex points, right? If we did that transfer point. But here's the thing. It is a balcony room on the ocean for 2 people, paid for. So your foods, I think the only thing that's not included is the drinks. So like, you got sodas and stuff included, but if you're trying to get drunk, it's going to be on your own dime, but still like not bad, so, for 14 days in the Mediterranean, let's do it.
Yeah, you think about it, 2 weeks of like whatever breakfast and dinner you want, completely covered. Like that's wild. Plus all the destinations you're going to go to where you're not paying for a hotel or a flight, that's money all day. I think it's the way.
Exactly. And if you took a look at, let's say if I was staying at Hilton for 14 nights, right? Let's say that was going to be 60,000 points per night. So 30,000 Amex points, which would be 30,000 times 14. How much is that? Not bad. I'm not good with math.
Yeah, it'd be the 440.
Yeah. So almost just as much as going to a hotel.
Yeah. Right. Around at least over 400. And that's just not even factoring in flights, unless you get a position to the cruise, itself. But yeah, it's so true. I think people overlook it. I wish I would be someone who partakes in them, and then I would probably make a lot of videos about it. But I think my wife is too afraid, to go on the cruise.
JP bringing the actual knowledge over here. I don't like to get drunk on my own time. Yeah,
we know. I hung out with him at Delta Sky Club once. He was going crazy. He was so hammered by the end. I'm kidding. I don't even know if actually no. He got some wine, but
I don't like it when some of the Sky Clubs are like, oh, it's only beer and wine, and I'm like, ah.
Well, yeah, which oddly works out for me anyway because all I do is wine. But I hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, I know you like you like certain special things. When you came out here, we had some. Well, actually, no, I think you just had beer when you came out here.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think I let myself to go too too far.
You're in a drunken drunken
Oh no, I
rage.
did have an old fashioned at that one restaurant
Yes.
we went to. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And then you trashed Daniel Sparks's dungeon.
Yeah, that's right.
Destroyed his house.
He's probably still cleaning up.
Yeah. Oh goodness.
What was I gonna? I was gonna say something. Oh, so my wife, she works in advertising, and everyone, like, basically all of her clients send her something, you know, at the end of the year. This year they actually they didn't send us any alcohol, but one was like 2 years ago we got a like extra anejo. It was like a $350 bottle of like sipping tequila, and then we got a bottle of Silver Oak. We got a bottle of Dom one time. We got a bottle of Camus a couple times.
Wow.
So like, yeah, that's really nice. Yeah.
Yeah, if you can get it for free. Can you buy any of that on Saks with the $50 credit that's maybe going away?
It's all out of stock.
Damn. Makes sense. Of course.
Oh, Saks. I did use my Saks credit for this 6 months. I got a workout towel, an activated charcoal workout towel that is supposed to deplete all of the negative oils from my skin. So it was $35, $10 in shipping, the whole 9 yards.
Damn. Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out. I gotta tell her to go through the site again to see if she could pick something out.
Yeah.
If not, I don't know. If not, I'll have to. Who knows? I may have to buy a bunch of. I don't know, because like I got her a bag from Lululemon with the credit, and then the leftover I got some Lululemon socks, which actually are pretty nice. But I'm wondering, maybe I gotta get a bunch of Saks socks as well. You know,
yeah, maybe.
Who knows?
Maybe. Oh yeah. So Dim actually had a really good point. Virgin Upper Class is awesome. Had a 19 cent per point redemption from Miami to Heathrow and back a few months ago. That's amazing.
How do you get 19 cents per point? That's kind of insane.
You only look at the one-way redemptions.
Yeah.
And probably a transfer bonus or two, I would imagine.
Yeah, that's crazy. Holy crap.
That's amazing though. I will say, unpopular opinion, maybe it is popular opinion, I actually like Virgin food catering on their upper class seats it's my favorite food on in the air, actually.
Seriously.
Now, to be fair, like I've only flown business class on Virgin and Air France at this point, but Air France was good. Virgin was just so much better. It was really good. I got the fish, and it was spicy, it was buttery, it was like citrusy. It was so good. I loved it.
Dang. You know, that's yesterday my wife and I were talking about, like, you know, well, that's why I bring up Germany, because I was just looking at it, but we were thinking about going there. Because honestly, one thing that was insane to me when we were flying home from Italy is we were on Lufthansa business, and it's always inflammatory, but basically, excluding Florence, all the food on the Lufthansa flight was better than the rest of Italy combined,
Wow.
which is insane. But I was like, oh, it's all.
Did you go to all the touristy places with the pictures on the menu?
No, we went to non-touristy. I made sure I do not go with the pictures. You know, I go to places I'm only speaking Italian. Like, these are hardcore, but Florence was amazing. That was like the best food ever. But you know, but then everybody will hate me. But I'm just, it really just highlights the food on Lufthansa plane was the best food I ever had. Like, well, like on planes in general. Okay. I didn't like the Emirates stuff, but it's just not my thing. I guess their stuff. But man, I think Germany's my place. I think, like, man, I couldn't tell you how good it was. It's like really insane.
I really do want to try Condor. I've heard good things about them.
Yeah, I can imagine a similar thing.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's amazing. Great job for Dem. Oh look, Nicholas got 100,000 Virgin points for my Virgin credit card from that one bonus. That is honestly kind of a sleeper card. It's definitely not one that I would spend that much on, and I didn't when I had it. But the fact that it gives you I think it's a third free night at any Virgin hotels, and that's pretty solid. And then also, like, if you spend 15,000 on it, it gives you like seat upgrade awards for everyone on your itinerary. So like if you, that's one of the things you can pick, but it's the thing I would pick. And so if you book premium economy and you have this award, you and your wife or whoever else is on gets upgraded to upper class.
Wow.
Yeah. Really? Just by spending $15,000 a year on a card.
That's actually pretty great. Is there a minimum like a seat you have to book?
It's there's a point value, so I think it's
Uh,
like an extra, like I think it's like an extra 100,000 total points or something, or like something crazy. So
hmm,
like it's possible that you could be like priced out of it, but I think you can subsidize it with your Virgin point balance.
hmm.
So I think it just goes. It's like a Marriott like free night award,
Uh,
where it's like it hits that particular point, and I think you can top it up.
that's pretty interesting. Huh.
Yeah,
That's good to know.
yeah. Oh yeah, so Dem, the Virgin Lounge and LHR. So here's the thing. I'm probably too cheap to ever step foot in that lounge because from Heathrow to the Americas, it was like I think it was like $700 or $800 per person in taxes and fees,
Mm,
and I'm not gonna pay $1,600 for access to the lounge,
yeah,
because that would be the only reason I would do it.
I can see that.
Yeah. Sleepy Ride bringing the real questions. Did anyone take advantage of that 250x Avios per dollar on Kate Spade offer? That's amazing.
Hmm.
I didn't even know it was a thing.
Yeah.
Was that like
250x
in a like
Avios.
the British Airways portal or something? Or that's amazing.
Wow. Jeez. That's like, what? 250x? That's
Yeah,
insane. Wow. It's better than Rove.
seriously. At Clampert, or you could book Condor business via JetBlue for 50,000 points one way. That would be really good if you're a City or a Chase person. Very less good if you're a Capital One person.
Yeah. Huh. That's good to know. I didn't know
That
you
is
could do
really good
that.
to know.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Cool.
I really do want to try the JetBlue Mint thing,
Mm-hmm.
but I have been able to find as low as 88,000 points by booking direct with JetBlue from Boston to Heathrow, and the points, the tax and fees aren't that bad, but I
Hmm.
don't know, it's 88,000 points for business class. It's good. It's better than like a bad fare for like Air France or British Airways or something,
Yeah.
but like it's just like it's still more than 29,000 with Virgin.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah. Definitely some sweet spots with JetBlue.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, 100%. All right, awesome. Oh yeah, okay. So JP Knowledge actually agrees with me on the food. Air France presentation is fantastic, but the food has been so each time I've flown with them. Yeah, and one thing that's weird, I guess it's very French, but they kept asking me if I wanted more bread, and I was like, no, I've had 3 rolls so far. Don't give me more
Hmm.
bread.
Huh.
But
Interesting. Yeah, it's
yeah,
actually an interesting topic. Like, what's the worst airplane food you've had? Um,
I guess I'll find
between
out if it's American because I'm flying American on the way back.
it will be. It is. American's terrible. I really.
Yeah.
I flew American. It was economy, but it was on the. I think it was on the 777 all the way out to London when I did that
Oh,
trip.
okay.
It was terrible. Just everything was terrible. Like it was like all right, but I don't know. There's certain foods on airplanes that you've taste for like a day later.
Mhm.
It's like a weird. I don't know. It's like a weird thing that you feel. But
It's
I
always
thought
beef stew.
yeah, I think AA was bad. I actually, oddly enough, I think I would put Emirates a little bit above. Well, not a little bit above, like pretty higher above it, but it's still not amazing.
Hmm.
Personally, I didn't really care for the Emirates
Really?
food.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, but maybe that's just more about Middle Eastern versus whatever. Um, I did enjoy. I actually enjoyed KLM. I thought
Oh,
KLM
okay.
had good some good food there and some good stuff. The Dutch, they seem to do it well. I love the service they have with KLM.
Yeah.
Lufthansa was the best for sure, hands down. And I'm
Nice.
trying to think. I don't think I actually flew Air France. I think I almost did, but then I think they switched it to the KLM now. But I think A is the worst.
And of course, Source King eating hamburger with fries on an airplane is always awful. Because that's
Huh.
Delta. Well, they don't do fries. They just do the hamburger, and then you get a bag of chips or something, I think.
Huh.
On Delta first class, if you do a long enough flight that it gives you a meal, then you can choose a Shake Shack burger.
Really? Hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, no
Never got that
fries.
before for Delta. Oh yeah,
Oh
Delta.
yeah.
I like Delta. Oh well, Delta they just throw a couple snacks at you, and then you're good. That's about it.
Yeah.
At least I never did long haul though for Delta.
Yeah. Don Kim saying you can get a fully loaded Sunday on American Airlines. It's kind of frozen though.
I would never be able to make it to the destination, I think.
Yeah.
I would
Speaking
never.
of Sundays though, Anthony. So when I visited you, I was flying out of Charlotte, and I went to the Centurion Lounge, and I was so upset because the Centurion Lounge in Charlotte has one saving grace, and it's that they have handmade ice cream bar. Um, it was they were making new ice cream, and could only be in there for 20 minutes because they had such a wait that I was not able to actually get the ice cream, and I was like, damn it.
Wow, that's messed up.
Yeah.
It was like a full Sunday, like a
Yeah,
banana
like
split or
they
something.
actually, like, you could see like the little spinner thing making the ice cream. That's what we were waiting on.
Damn.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
we pay all this money, for platinum cards, and they can't even
Right.
like get a faster Sunday maker. What the hell?
I know. Come on, guys. Like, at least get two. Come on.
What's the best airport lounge food you've ever had?
Ooh. So I'm kind of hamstrung a little bit in that I've only been to an Air France lounge for breakfast. And I don't feel like any lounge really shines that well at breakfast. Of course, I guess Jay would have disagreed with me about the Chase Sapphire Lounge. Apparently, their breakfast is pretty fire. So.
Yeah.
But I would say, honestly, oof. I really liked the Atlanta Centurion Lounge because they refresh it so much that nothing gets like dried out there, which I guess is just a function of how popular it is, right? Like, I've never had a dry piece of chicken there, which is kind of a huge deal when it comes to buffets. But like the Sapphire Lounge in Philly, like the fact that you can order food, like limitless varieties of food, is amazing. And like their club sandwiches are good. The Sapphire noodles are really, really good. Loved it. So yeah, like, I don't know. Like, it's just, Kirby says Centurion Lounge Atlanta. All right, Kirby, that's good enough for me. You're gonna you'll push me over the edge.
Yeah, I mean, I like the Centurion Lounge in Atlanta. I think it's a probably I would say easy runner up. I think the best I've been to is JFK Sapphire Lounge.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's just not it for me. It's not even close because I do love the chicken. I love the rice. The Centurion Lounges. Sky Club is very similar. But man, when experiencing that Sapphire Lounge where you order the burger and fries is like super money. I was like, damn, and you could order infinite amount of them. Yeah, I loved it there.
As tested by Jay.
Right, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I love it.
I will say one thing I don't like about Delta Sky Clubs though is those paper plates they give you just make you feel like it's like, please, sir, can I have some more? Like, I don't know. It's just like, how am I supposed to do an honest attempt at a buffet if I have this little tiny square paper plate that's like this big? I'm gonna look like, those are cocktail plates. Come on.
Legit. Yeah, every time we go to Sky or Escape Lounges, and actually Escape Lounges I think are really nice. Every time I go in one, it's like same experience, very like modern-esque, a little smaller, but sometimes less crowded, and it was good. We stayed in one in Puerto Rico for like 5 hours, and then we had the one where we fly out of a GSP in Greenville. We have an Escape Lounge, but always good morning. Like good, what do you call that? The morning. Mimosas, so you can get some morning mimosas and just like little breakfast potatoes. Like, but you're right. The plates are like this big. It's like I could fit 3 chips on it.
Yeah. I gotta say, like, I got really stressed out with the whole Puerto Rico thing because our flight got canceled because that was back when they were doing the forced thing, and so our flight got canceled the day before, which was fortunate. At least we had some availability kind of adjust, and they gave me 2 options because I called them and I was like, hey, look, like, this is what I would love to do. I would love for it to be from San Juan to Orlando, and they're like, okay, you got 2 options, and you could go earlier. I think it was leaving at 5 a.m. Or you can go later, and it was leaving at like 6 p.m. or something. And I was thinking about doing the later one because I was like, well, it might be good to, make sure that we have enough time to, check out the hotel for another day, play it by the beach or again. And Jen was like, no, we need to check out the early one. And I did find out actually the later flight got delayed severely, so we ended up actually getting out of there before bad things started happening.
Damn.
Nice.
Yeah, I remember when we were in the ocean at the Caribe, you were worried about it. We were all talking about it with a bunch of those guys. Just be like, oh, you're gonna be canceled. You're gonna be canceled. What's the deal? Oh man, it's crazy. Mine wasn't canceled, but it was delayed for engine issue.
Oh, that's
Um,
right. Yeah, that was crazy. Because I think they actually took you off the plane, right?
yeah, we
Yeah.
boarded. Then they took us off like an hour and a half later, and then we ended
Hmm.
up just. That's why we were in the escape lounge for like 5 hours because the next flight was at midnight.
Oh,
We
wow.
actually didn't get flying until 1 a.m., which is
Oh,
insane. But we
no.
got there for like a 2 p.m. flight. It was insane. It was
Oh, okay.
a long time.
Wow. That's a
Yeah,
long time.
yeah. But
At
this
least
escape
you're
lounge
among
was good for
friends, I
that.
guess.
Yeah, I ended up getting hanging out in the escape lounge with Jay and Rel, and then
Oh,
getting on the
nice.
flight, coming back, and then going back to the escape lounge, and then I was hanging out with Joe and Terry. Like, what the heck? Like,
Oh,
I'm
man.
back.
I love Joe and Terry. I love their relationship too. Like
Yeah,
they're so awesome.
yeah, yeah,
All
absolutely.
right. So Centurion Lounge. So yeah. Oh, Dim has a good question. I've been itching to go. They hear the whiskey bar is sick. Yeah, that is a great whiskey bar. I love it. It's so cool.
Mhm.
Um, I love that their old fashions are really good, but they also have a good selection of like bourbons and whiskeys that you can actually just kind of sip on. Get a little bit of on the rocks or even neat, and so that's nice too.
Is that one?
But
I can't remember the Centurion whiskey bar. Is that where you have to order, or can you grab your own bottles?
Yeah, you have to order. The Centurion
Okay.
Lounge actually is you have to order through one of the two bars available.
Hmm,
Um, for non-alcoholics, you can grab your own, but yeah,
gotcha.
that one was really nice. I will say the one thing that I really want to do is I want to do the Boston Sapphire Lounge
Yeah, me
because
too.
it's got that speakeasy that just looks so cool.
Yeah, yeah. I almost went through there not long ago, but yeah, unfortunately, wasn't able to. That one seems amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, like I would actually fly to Boston just for that lounge, honestly, if the points were there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But here's the thing: what we're not talking about is the Capital One lounges, and I'm not talking about it because I haven't been to one yet. What do you think?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, the only Capital One products are the Capital One cafes. Like in I think we went to one in Vegas, went to one in DC and Georgetown. Um and those are very nice, but never went to actual Capital One lounge yet. Yeah. So I mean, some
Okay.
people say it's really nice. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. The Capital One lounges, the food I've heard has been the best, but I haven't checked it out. Philmo
Hmm.
was saying that the Capital One lounge in Dallas Fort Worth was their favorite. Yeah,
Hmm.
I've heard the one in Dulles is supposed to be good too.
Interesting. I was thoroughly surprised at the um when I flew Emirates Business, we had access to the Emirates Business Class Lounge
Oh yeah.
at the same time that I had access to the Sapphire Lounge. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna go test both because we had like
Yeah.
3 hours. So Sapphire Lounge got a bunch of burgers. Then we went over to the Emirates one, and then we got on the flight. But the Emirates one was interesting because it's like you can't access that any other way other than flying business or first.
Okay.
Um, and so I wanted to see the difference between like a credit card lounge and like a business flight lounge. And so
Yeah.
it had like automatic doors that you walk through, and like everyone's very posh. But one thing I noticed the difference is the business class lounges was extremely quiet.
Oh
Like
yeah.
like you heard nothing. Like people very
That's a
quiet
good
talking.
point.
People who
Air
are
France was
in
like that.
really they're in
Yeah.
business attire. Just hanging out. But the selection was that of like a lower than a Delta Sky Club. Like the food selection was really nothing special. It was kind of like an escape lounge type stuff.
Yeah.
But the only thing that I found interesting was, and why I asked that question earlier, is that you actually could grab your own bottles of alcohol. They had like Grey Goose vodka.
Oh
They had
yeah.
insane amount of stuff that you could just grab and take it. I was so
Nice.
surprised. But I was
That was
surprised it
actually
wasn't better.
Yeah. That was actually similar to so when my wife and I when we did our upper class redemption in Virgin, we flew from Manchester, and the reason why we flew up to Manchester was because it was a direct flight to Orlando, and
Mm,
so we were kind of front loading our positioning flight so we just get home. And that airport only has two lounges. One's a priority pass. One is kind of shared between all business class passengers across all the flights. But pretty much the only people that were there were actually in our flight. So
mm,
um, But that one was nice because it actually had 3 bars, and it was like basically like they had full service, so hard liquor, they had mixers, they had beer, wine, but they were spread out around the lounge, and so you could basically just get your own, and nobody really cared. So
Wow.
that was nice. But then they like you could order, like we went there for breakfast, and like they had really good like French toast and omelets and stuff, which was really nice. But
Heck
yeah.
yeah. Love it.
I gotta. So there's a couple of people that are sharing some really, really good appointments, or really good points. Tim, I usually just do Sky Club, even if I'm in Atlanta, since the Centurion is somewhat out of the way. Yeah, it is kind of difficult to get there sometimes, especially if you're in like A or B gates, and you're like, I could just go to this lounge right here.
Yeah, it is a far walk, and then because you have to walk past like 7 Sky Clubs just to get there.
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly.
It's like, why?
Yeah. But yeah, the Priority Pass, the PP Lounge at MCO is pretty good. So there's a good PP Lounge and there's a bad PP Lounge at Orlando. The one in Terminal A sucks. It's literally just a room, and sometimes there's food in it.
That's funny.
Yeah. But yeah, the one in Terminal B is really good.
Not bad.
Which is like, it's actually right across the hall from the Sky Club, which, that's also, the Sky Club is not bad in Orlando.
Oh, they have one in MCO now?
Mm-hmm.
Well, last time I was there, I had no idea what lounges were. Last time I was there, like many years ago. Huh.
Yeah, you need to come back.
Yeah, it's good to know.
Oh yeah, okay. So Filmo's Capital One Lounge is about to get more roomy. Interesting. All right. Ooh, okay. Source King says Swissport Lounge at O'Hare is the worst lounge. That's good to know.
Swissport. I can imagine anything that has to do with O'Hare probably is the worst. Yeah.
Seriously. Oh goodness. Juan saying Boston Sapphire Lounge is fire. Yeah, that one looks really good. Sleepy Rod does not like Capital One cafes, even though you get 50% off your Capital One card and Discover card now. Actually, it comes out to about the same price as any other coffee shop. Yeah, it always struck me as kind of a gimmick. Honestly, I've never actually been in one, but I have no desire to go.
Yeah, the one in Georgetown. I mean, it's cool. It's like a place to like hang out. But it's like, at least there is mostly college kids doing homework and stuff. Just like take it over.
Yeah. Okay. And Carrie Lou, so Capital One Landing, I'm definitely planning on using this sometime, hopefully. Capital One Landing in DC has the best lounge food I've ever had. It's basically a free unlimited Jose Andres tapas bar. Yeah.
I can imagine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jose Andres,
Andres.
Killing it in DC, especially.
Exactly. And that's one of the ones like my wife and I, like, we've decided this year we're not going to add the authorized user lounge access fee, because like if we go there, like I would pay $45 to access that with her, so we're good with that.
Definitely.
Oh, LG has an interesting question here. What's up, fellas? Tried using the Resi credit for the first time in late December, but the credit went against this year's redemption. Is that normal? Interesting.
Yeah. So he mentioned just now, he just noticed it was posted on the 1st. Unfortunately, if it does post on the 1st, it'll count towards this year. What you could do, and what has worked for some people, is chat into Amex and be like, hey, I paid for this last year. Even though the terms and conditions do, I believe, literally state like posting times and all those different things, and being eligible for the old credits, like use it sooner. I've seen some people get it reversed and actually like their counter would be like, oh, $0 Resi this year, but still retain the 100 from last. So I think it's worth just chatting into Amex just to be like, oh, I'm sorry, it's first time. I had no idea. I paid for it 3 days ago or whatever it was, 2 days ago.
And I'm sure this is literally what they're doing. Like if you're a customer service rep for Amex, this is what you're answering questions on this week is, oh no, my credits didn't work.
Right.
So I'm sure, they'll probably be willing to help. And if they're not, then hang up and call again.
Honestly. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the move.
Good to know, CB Rod. I have one down the street and never been. Yeah. Those Capital One cafes don't look like the best. Okay, FYI for planning your trip, I think all Boston lounges are prohibited from serving alcohol until noon on Sundays. That's actually a really good point. When my buddy and I, we were flying to Louisville, we were leaving Sunday. And it was a morning flight, no, not too early in the morning. and I was kind of banking on like waiting until after security and like stocking up on some bourbon to take with me on the plane. But it's illegal to sell it before
Hmm.
noon on Sundays. So I
Interesting.
only got the one Four Roses bottle that I got at the place. But you know, oh well,
Huh.
yeah,
Good to
that's
know.
good to know.
Hmm.
All right, okay. Yumi Yami, attorney, you are a few guys talked PinFed Pathfinder credit card. What do you think the Pathfinder could be a good substitute for CSR? I actually don't know that much about the Pathfinder card. Do you know that much?
Yeah, it's well, I just pulled it up now just for the heck of it.
Okay.
But, definitely not a replacement, I don't think. But I guess just high level, $95 annual fee. And
Mm,
I forget. Yeah, it's been a while since I looked at these. Key probably could speak to it because she mentioned she has these in
yeah,
Sledge, I
she
believe.
loves to talk about it.
I forget what the deal is with the PenFed Honors Advantage. Remember to get that waived annual fee. I made a video on it
Oh,
so many
that would be
years ago,
nice.
but something like that. But you get 4x points on travel, 1.5x everything else, 50K points for 3K spend. You do get 120 for a global entry
Hmm.
and TSA pre-check, and you get $100 airline basically incidental fee credit
It
with PP access.
Yeah, it is saying that it's for domestic. It says domestic ancillary travel fees. So I don't know how they distinguish that, but that's interesting.
I don't even see the word domestic on there. Oh, interesting. Yeah, yeah. I never really looked too deeply into this card.
Yeah,
But
me neither.
and I don't even know what would like Key would probably know. Like, what's the version of the Priority Pass like membership does it actually have? Some of them are better than others. Some could bring other guests or into the lounges. So at least it
Oh yeah,
has APP plus the $100 credit and whatever. But yeah, I mean, not a replacement to CSR. CSR is so much.
yeah,
Absolutely, it's a replacement to like any other card that gives you Priority Pass for sure. I would say.
yeah. I gotta say, like, so I did a video about Bilt's the rumors with the annual fee and the multipliers, and I think you just recently did your live on it. But somebody commented saying that it would be a great combo to go with the CSR because they have complimentary travel partners, but you can use it to kind of fill the gap with the CSR's grocery category. So if you did that select 3% as grocery, you would use the CSR for dining, the new Bilt card, the $95 annual fee one for grocery, and then you'd still have access to Hyatt, United, and Southwest and a bunch of others, but then you'd also have access to, you know, Atmos and stuff like that. What do
Yeah,
you think about that potential?
yeah. I guess it just depends on being honest with how much you do spend on dining,
Yeah.
plus how valuable some of those credits are to you. In your life in that given year. You know,
Hmm.
because like it's very easy to overspend heavily even though we do get a lot of credits back like on the edit credit and stuff like that. I think there's a real way that you can game it to where if they retain like the 250 extra for like IHG hotels, a couple others, if you could stack that plus the $300 travel credit plus the 250 edit credits, like yeah, you can get one stay that could probably cover pretty much your whole annual fee, and then now you have some great lounge access and stuff like that, and then you have your 3x dining. Like yeah, I could see that. Just depends how much you're willing to work with that, how much you're willing to like book those particular hotels. Like I have a friend who has a Sapphire Reserve and he's never really used the edit credits before. And so we were
Oh
looking at
yeah.
a couple, you know, areas that he was looking to go to, and you're like, oh, there are no hotels either there or there's no hotels that are within reach with pricing. They're like nine to
Oh yeah.
$1,000 per with
That
not that many
matters.
points. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's like how do you make up that delta, that $800 annual fee on all of the? I think if the dining credit went closer to like Resi status, like it was like 10,000 restaurants, I could
Yeah.
feel more for it. But yeah, it's tough. It's tough. I could see it supplementing, but how much are you really spending on the card for
Yeah.
dining to be
Yeah.
worth it?
I think honestly the CSR, the edit collection, like my wife is I last year, so when we went to London, we stayed for 4 nights at the Conrad. And the Conrad is nearly impossible to book for good point redemptions because they have hardly any standard room availability. In fact, I haven't seen one at all. And I've
Hmm.
been tracking that property for the last year and a
Right.
half, actually. Um, so it's terrible with points, so you have to pay cash. And so we're going to be staying there again, but basically my wife is like, it was such an incredible experience. Like they take such good care of you that like she's like, I really would like to just stay there, like even if it's going to be like, even if we're going to be paying for it, like because we
Hmm.
could be staying at the Waldorf for 75,000 points per night.
Yeah.
But we're going to be staying at the Conrad, and so like for that situation where you're going to be paying, and it's going to be, I think like probably $400 or $500 a night. Um, you know, that kind of edit collection, yeah, or that kind of edit credit could help if it's in that program. It's not because it's in FHR, but I actually don't know if it's in the edit collection or not, but probably not. But that kind of situation where like you're willing to spend can still work for less, because I'm not paying anything for the flights. I'm not paying anything for the hotel in Edinburgh. Like our travel expenses are taxes and fees and the Conrad Hotel. And so, we have a year to cash flow that. So
Whole day. Whole
Yeah.
day. That makes sense.
Corky, I want to try the sidecar lounge. I think they just opened in Vegas. Yeah, I'm interested by that idea. What do you think?
I'm not really that familiar with them, to be honest.
Okay.
The sidecar is for which exactly?
So the sidecar lounges are through American Express. Basically, what they are is it's designed for more kind of like a grab and go, or kind of
Oh,
a
right.
shortened experience. And so it's expected that you're not going to be there much longer than an hour.
I
And
like it.
so it's a good way to kind of try to serve more people, right? So if you have a 4-hour layover, you're going to the Centurion lounge. But if you have, like, if you're on your way to the plane and you just want to get a free coffee or something, you go to the sidecar lounge, which it seems
see.
like an interesting way to go.
I like it because a lot of I think maybe one or two Delta Sky clubs in Atlanta have the grab and go stations. So you just go there, scan
Yeah.
your boarding pass, and they'll give you like a baggie of whatever a couple sandwiches, couple chips, whatever, a cookie. I like that because I don't know. One thing I found specifically, like when we were in the Athens airport, it was kind of like, I don't know. There was either some lounges that were incredibly packed or ones that we just weren't interested in going to. So one thing we opted in for was we, just went into like just one of like the delis basically. And we got like some spinach pie, whatever stuff that we loved in Greece. And then we just
that's
sat at the
cool.
terminal, and it was great because the terminal was completely empty, nobody around. So we could put our feet up or whatever. So it was like
Nice.
our own lounge because we were so like early for the flight. So like if they had a grab and go station that I could just do that, that's amazing. If I could grab it, go to the terminal that's empty, then sure. Terminal only gets busy like, half hour out, honestly, or an hour out, honestly. So, there's been plenty of times we just terminal and completely empty, and it's been fun. Yeah.
Oh, Nicholas has an interesting thought experiment. I'm thinking the Bilt 495 card may have the Priority Pass restaurants on there. That'd be nice. But
yeah,
I don't know. They're already hemorrhaging money as it goes. So
I don't know. I just feel like we would have seen more about anything that has to do with lounges. I don't know. I feel like we would have heard more people talking about it, or leak details, or the code or something. I don't know. I feel like we would have heard about it. I just don't
for
feel it.
$495, it needs to have Priority Pass access. Will I care about it? No. But
Yeah.
it needs to have Priority Pass access.
It's gonna have it. Yeah.
What if it gives you Priority Pass access and Southwest Lounge access?
Well, that's for you. Yeah, you'd love that.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see why. I feel like everyone's just kind of gone the way of, we don't do restaurants anymore.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay, so CB Rod's saying Capital One Cafe discount only applies to coffee drinks, so it doesn't apply to food or other snacks. That is frustrating because they don't say that in their marketing. They're like, not only on the coffee drinks, but
50% off everything, anything you want.
Nicholas is bringing really good points. Capital One really needs to bring it this year. Last year was a complete disappointment, nerfing the Saver, the Venture, and the Venture X. So I'm aware of the Venture X being nerfed. What happened with the Venture card?
Well, Venture lost its own complimentary passes to, I think it was like one, maybe two to the lounge, to Capital One lounges.
Yeah, I was really upset because I had just gotten it as a product change for my Walmart card. And the only flight I was going to do that had a Capital One lounge was JFK, but they opened it in January and I was flying in December, and I was like, I could have tried it, but yeah, so that's true. I forgot about that one. But yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, maybe they'll do something, revamp this year.
Yeah, Capital One, like I think their transfer partners are the weakest point, honestly. Like
Hmm.
I love using the Venture X. Here's the thing with Virgin, if they have, as long as they have Virgin, I am fine to use them. I will
Yeah.
find Delta seats, I will find those international seats. But like for most people, like when we were doing the thought experiment about looking for 100,000 points, like it's worse. It's the worst one there.
Hmm.
There's not a compelling hotel transfer partner at
Yeah.
a competitive rate.
Yeah.
Chase 1-to-1 is abysmal. Like that's just not good. It's almost as bad as Amex Marriott 1-to-1. Like, come on, guys.
Damn.
Yeah, but that's probably just because they have a partnership with Hilton, and so they're never going to give the same to Marriott as they would with Hilton. But
Yeah.
but yeah, no, it's just the transfer partners are the only things. I love the cards; they're fine. I'm not offended by the Venture X thing. I get it. I think they actually did it in a more interesting way than like American Express. Like if I want my wife to have the card, it's $195 unless I get the Morgan Stanley version or something else. With Capital One, she can spend on the card and she can come on the lounge with me, or I can come on the lounge with her and just pay the $45, or I can pay the $125 and get it unlimited. And
Yeah.
so like I feel like I'm not offended by that.
Yeah. I think it's not terrible,
Yeah.
depending how often you're really going through them, like I've had to do
That's
that a couple
true.
times where it was like, yeah, I just eat the cost of a Centurion, and then go
Yeah.
through. Oddly enough, I shouldn't even be saying this, but a lot of Sky Clubs, you should just dance around the machines a little bit when you're paying. You can kind of just a lot of the time walk through.
That is true. Nobody really checks. That's fair. Yeah.
I did go through with an expired platinum once,
Wow.
and it was fine. Actually,
Well,
no,
yeah,
did I
because
go
all they
through
do
with
is they
that?
check
Yeah.
if there's a platinum associated with your Delta account, and so
Yeah, yeah. Actually, no, I misspoke. Not an expired platinum. I had my platinum, but the ticket, because they have to look at your boarding pass, was under her
mm,
name, and it needs
okay,
to be the
your
same name
name.
for the platinum plus the
Gotcha.
thing. But then I don't know. I just kind of scanned it, and then the machine didn't do anything, so I just kept walking, and then we were in the lounge.
Okay. All right, Anthony Venture, you heard it here first,
It's
folks.
so bad. But then we like left right after too. Like it was pretty crowded. It was like whatever.
Yeah. Sleepy Rod thinks that Capital One is fine as is. Chase is trying to copy the coupon book strategy from Amex. From Amex ruined them. Yeah, Chase did not do as good a job with the coupon
Mm-mm.
strategy. I don't feel like as American Express did, but
Just so
I don't know.
crazy. I mean, I
Yeah.
think they're trying. Didn't we hear some rumors that they're trying to make it so that the edit credit is just a $500 just straight, and then someone said like, is it the $250 is going to be a part of that straight credit to be used? So it'd be like a
Oh.
$750 hotel credit on 2 nights, but you could just do it all in one lump sum instead
Hmm.
of like, because now they changed it to where you have the 500, but you don't have to wait 6 months to get the additional 250. You could
Right.
just do 2 night stay today, two
Yeah.
night stay tomorrow, and then you can get both credits. But if it becomes an all-encompassing 750 credit, yeah, then that helps a lot. It helps a
That's
lot
nice.
for sure.
Yeah. Sammy, Phillip, you had any issues getting the Ritz travel credit? I'm considering downgrading because it's been a pain to get. Interesting. Some Chase agents have no idea what it is and
Damn.
get passed around when I call. And Sammy, I'm assuming you're calling the number on the back of the card, because that would be my first reaction. Just saying. So, like, I've actually only successfully utilized it once, and so last year when I booked my flights in February, I actually put my Virgin Atlantic taxes and fees on there last year, and I called 2 or 3 days after they posted, and they were taken like immediately.
Hmm.
And I just did a couple days ago. I booked my taxes and fees for my return flight, and they actually haven't posted to my Chase account yet. So I'm about to have some real world experience with that, probably Monday. But yeah, no, I'll definitely do a video about it if I do experience any difficulties. But yeah, no, that's because I don't know. Is it have you what has what kind of charges have you been using? Is it for travel incidentals, or is it like for hotel stays and stuff? I wonder. Because I do know officially it's just supposed to be for travel incidentals. like airline fees and charges and stuff. But let me know, Sammy, if you're still here. Many, I'm not sure if the CSR, but a benefit of the Amex portal you can add Hilton Marriott member number and status add on top of the book stay. Yeah, and you can track that in your app, your hotel app, which I love. So that's just amazing.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I do know that we probably need to let you go here in a little bit because this is your second live of the day, so I'm sure you're probably tired. So
I'm okay as long as you need me.
all right. Well, then you're never. I'm just kidding.
I'm never leaving.
Yumi Yami, I think United Explorer combo with IHG Premium is so underrated. You got lounge access and one hotel stay and free $50 for United, and United also has credit for hotel. Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so United Explorer, yeah. The United Explorer, it would definitely be one that I would get if I was under 524, but I'm not, and so it definitely seems like it could be really good. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Lonnie employs that. I think he has those two cards to make that exact thing happen. What he's talking about. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Okay. So I'm just going to fast forward a little bit to get to because Sammy was responding. Sammy's saying, "Yep, calling them around the back of the Ritz. First time was fine. Next time I had to hang up and call back to get someone who could help me." Interesting. Okay. Which is weird too, because every time I've called, and I've only called last year, I haven't called recently, it always goes to someone who identifies themselves as a supervisor or something like that. So I would assume that they would be more, knowledgeable. So just flight incidentals, once I got the right person, it was fine. That is frustrating though, because you don't pay $450 for a card to have to hang up and call again to get the credit. Like that is frustrating.
Yeah.
Okay. Hasamidi is saying, I've always used the secure message feature in app. Never had an issue. Yeah. Okay. That is good to know. Let's see. Sean, starting off this year with the Marriott Bonvoy Boundless on my goal to get the Ritz card. Doesn't the Ritz card have party pass to restaurants? Unfortunately, it does not. It was the last one of Chase to retain them, but it does not have them anymore. Which is sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Sweet. Okay, cool. I did fast forward a little bit. So let's see. I booked a hotel collection through Hilton through the portal and got $100 stay credit and daily food and beverage credit additional plus a room upgrade. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. So if you're double stacking, so I have the Aspire card and the Platinum card, and so I double stacked for my Conrad Fort Lauderdale trip. So I made that booking through FHR, got the FHR credit for it. And then I was diamond status too. And so when I checked in, there was no issue. The guy who checked me in, he gave me the envelope with my my FHR benefits. And then he also told me about my diamond benefits. And so, which is weird because the same guy is the guy who checked us out. And I just was like, I noticed on the bills, like the food and beverage credits weren't applied. And he was like, oh, it's kind of an either or thing. You don't get both. And I was like, well, you told me that I do. Like I was trying to be very diplomatic about it. And I ended up not actually, fighting it, but on the property, I messaged back and ended up getting the general manager who informed me that, he was sorry that I misheard them, but he was going to do me a solid and, the whole 9 yards. So
you're saying he said you couldn't stack
diamond, the diamond food and beverage credits plus the $100 stay credit with FHR.
Yeah, and every property will handle it differently. Some will stack it, some will, some won't.
The Canopy in West Palm Beach did stack it, which was like that was wild. So
yeah, that's amazing when that happens. That was like the Waldorf and NOLA, because I think it was a Waldorf, so we got $50 per day. But we also got 60 breakfasts per day and then $100 experience. I think we got like 210 credits in one day. For a hotel, it's actually only cost like $300, like cash. I paid $300 cash via MasterCard, and I got 210 credits back. Like that's crazy. Food credits back.
Yeah. Okay. LG actually is a really good question. LG, I hope you're still on. Sorry. Fellas, do you have a certain bank that you prefer for checking/savings? Looking to change for my small credit union here in South Carolina. You might actually, what do you do for your main banking?
Well, fellow SC man,
yeah,
Mr. Greenville over here. I don't know where you're at, but I don't really have a savings account anymore. If I did have one, I probably would do. Well, nowadays, I don't know. Just because I've seen so many people use it and be fine. Honestly, probably
Hmm.
SoFi, like pretty decent APY. But there are some requirements. Um,
SoFi is going through some stuff right now too.
yeah, yeah. That. I mean, my wife uses Capital One. We've always loved them over the years, but that was back when we had brick and mortar places.
Yeah.
They're okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where else I would probably, like it depends if you care about a brick and mortar versus like an online only. Like obviously Wealthfront, or Ally could be okay. But I think probably SoFi, and then for checking, I actually just use Chase for everything. To be honest.
Yeah. Same for me. Checking. So Chase is where I put some of my direct deposits. I also put some other direct deposits into Bank of America just because I want to maintain that relationship with them. I opened the checking account for the sign up bonus, got the $500, but I think I'm going to keep it open. But Chase is where kind of my longest checking account. But I don't keep anything in Chase. I have $7 in my Chase account right now. I move everything over to, so I have 3 high yield savings account, one with American Express, one with Apple, Goldman Sachs, and then another with Capital One. And so my Apple one is for my taxes. So all of like 20% of all my YouTube revenue goes into that account and it grows, and that's nice. Then for my American Express one, we're saving. We got a bunch of donations to Wells, for like some future either education account or retirement account or something. And until we actually have a social and all the stuff that we need to open those kind of accounts, we're just keeping it in a high yield savings account in my name right now. And so that's one. And then the other one I use because I pay all of my bills from my Capital One checking account, and then I just keep it in a performance savings account. So I have $3 in my Capital One checking account, and I keep everything in that savings account. And whenever I need to pay a bill or something, I move it from my savings to my checking and then transfer that out. So it's very hands-on, but I am kind of trying to make sure I'm optimizing for the interest. So
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, good question though.
Hmm.
But yeah, Chase for the brick and mortar stuff. Yeah. Yeah, that's with their mother's brother's last name. Yeah, exactly.
I've often thought about it. Like you have to be careful. Like it's very easy to get some info. Like you can,
Yeah,
you could just act curious and be like, "Oh yeah, what's your dad's name?" Like,
yeah.
"Oh, where's it
What was the
from?"
name of your first dog? Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, you had a pet? Oh, really? My pet's name was Scruffy. What was yours? You know.
yeah. Oh, that's amazing. I love it. Let's see. I got lost in the conversation again. Um, hmm. Okay, so let's see. All right. Looks like these banks are going to 524 rule. Wells Fargo seems like the next one. Oh, interesting. Okay. Um, Sammy came out travel charges are pending on my Ritz. Yeah, I plan to call on Monday, Tuesday. Yeah, totally. I'm doing the same thing, Key. I'm planning on calling on Monday. It wasn't a difficult phone call for me. I don't anticipate being one, but if it is, I'll definitely make a video about it and kind of flame chase a little bit more because those always do well. So, but yeah, Key's going to report back as well. So maybe we'll talk about it. We're doing a live sometime. Key, I am sorry that I never got back to you. We decided early this morning that I was going to be cleaning out the garage as part of our baby stuff, and then I took a nap, and then I'm here. So, but yeah, I'll get back to you on that one. Sorry. Sammy, Key doesn't renew for me until later this year. Okay, yeah. Tyler's back. Didn't think you guys would still be streaming. Yeah. The Ritz travel credit is calendar year, so it resets on 1/1. Yeah. And we have definitely spent. Can you turn City Cash to points or miles? If so, which card allows that? City Cash. Is there a card that only earns something called City Cash, or is he talking about thank you points?
Yeah, I guess, I'm assuming that maybe talking about like get a city custom cash,
Yeah. Okay.
cash, and then
If
convert
that
it.
is
You know?
the question, then
Or,
absolutely, yeah. You do need to have. Well, you can do a transfer rate
yeah.
from the City Custom Cash. It's not good. I wouldn't do it. But if you have the City Strata Premier or the Elite, then you get the full transfer partners.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Or like double cash, I guess, or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. convert
I
all.
love the double cash. That's a great card. I
Mhm.
don't have it, but I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay, he's asking about a script. LG Anthony's. I'm in Columbia. I had to come to Greenville over the weekend. Coming back this month for a military bank. Okay, cool.
Nice.
That's
I
awesome.
I was in Columbia a year and a half ago for my broker event with my realtor stuff, and they put us
Nice.
up in the Gamecocks arena, like all the way in the big giant thing overlooking the stadium, the football field. So it's
Yeah.
it's cool. That was the last time I was in Columbia. It was a fun time.
It was wild because so I went up to the Asheville area for Thanksgiving, and we actually drove through Greenville, and I was like, oh, I should stop by and see Anthony. But it was literally like I think it was the weekend after like I was there, so it's like
Yeah.
probably a little
I don't know how
stalkerish,
you
but
did that. That was insane. Yeah.
yeah, November was a very travel filled month for me. But anyway, we are going to start kind of shutting things down. So if you do have any questions or anything you want us to address, make sure you do that. But we're just going to talk a little bit about this. Let's actually, Minnie has a good thing. I think the more I watch and think of the best way I want to use points, the more I think hotel cash booking works way better. And then use points for airfare with how much better a cent per point can be. Yeah. I think certain point systems favor that more. Like if you're a Capital One person or if you're an Amex person, even I would say yes. I have paid for a lot of cash price for Hilton's just because 34 points per dollar is insane.
Yeah.
So like I will pay cash for a Hilton because I get to earn that, and so that's, I definitely have done that before. But if you have Chase or even a Citi card, like those cent per points are pretty high.
Yeah.
Especially for I prefer from Citi. Like that's amazing. Yeah.
This made me think
exactly.
like 34x on Aspire, and like, is Hilton ever on Rakuten?
It is. No, not on Rakuten, but they're on Capital One offers.
Right.
So you can get 2x most of the time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
As is Choice, I think, too.
Hmm.
And then many, especially with my experience with the Amex portal, I might just treat it like a hotel card. Yeah. I was watching some new YouTuber talking about you need to figure out which portal you want to use and use that for all your redemptions. And I was like, oh, okay. All right. I'm going to keep going.
Dang.
Yeah, no, I mean, I have done so here's the thing, full disclosure, when I have 2 business platinum cards and a personal platinum card, right? I booked 3 nights at the Kimpton in Edinburgh each, so 1 night on each card. And I got that credit, but it was about $150 left over in things. Because it's a FHR, I was able to cash it out at 1 cent per point. And so I spent 15,000 times 3. So yeah, 45,000 points for that. So, basically, so I got 1 cent per point on those 15,000 points, but I also got the credits. And so, I've definitely used some portals for hotels, but it's definitely not very good, especially if it's hotel collection with Amex. Like you don't get that 1 cent per point for hotel collection or just regular bookings. It's 0.6 cents per point, I think, which sucks. Sleepy Rod, I applied for the second AA Platinum card to see if I can double dip. Nice. Let us know, Sleepy Rod. That's amazing.
I would love to know that. Yeah.
Yeah. I like cash for hotel bookings, but if I find a cheap hotel weekend with points, I use Amex Travel, FHR, and get 1 cent per point. Yeah. So that's one thing that I love to talk about. So when I visited Anthony, I actually did 2 different ways to book a Hyatt. So I stayed at a Hyatt place, and I booked 1 night with my Delta Stays credit. It was $150, nice. And that one room ended up being $148 or something, which was crazy because if I booked directly with Hyatt, it was like 95 or something. And then and then of course it was 5,000 Chase points for the other night. And so like, did I really get a lot of value by checking the box and getting this Delta Stays credit? Probably not. But, I get to say that I used it. So
yeah, whatever gets the stay done,
Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
Right. Yeah. Those credits do help. Does anyone ever successfully use the $50 hotel credit on the Sapphire Preferred?
Yeah.
Didn't you?
Yeah.
Was it you that did one like a $50 night stay?
Yeah, that was me.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I went to a $50 hotel out here and stayed.
Nice.
I didn't stay
Did
the
you
night,
actually
but
stay there too?
no, no.
Oh,
I
okay.
did. I filmed the video. I hung out for a couple hours, and then I left. I said, "I'm not worried. What am I doing? And like, what am I doing here? This is so stupid."
That's
It really
amazing.
was like a very weird place. People staring at you. It's like
Oh
people look
yeah.
like they live there. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Well, they probably live there.
Yeah, it was
That's
a
usually
quality
what those
inn.
kind of hotels are for.
Yeah, true. Yeah, it was like a quality inn.
Oh,
I
okay.
think choice, and yeah, it was like $50, and or maybe like $56, and I used it. But nowadays I've used it for when booking through the portal, you can book like a cash, stay through the portal, and just
Mhm.
like if you're gonna pay, like in this case, I paid with points and stuff for that particular case through the portal at that time, but I'll just pay I'll leave $50 off so that it covers the credit, like we did on FHR recently, where
Oh yeah.
I'll pay down with points the remaining balance and then
Mm,
let the cash hit the card.
that makes sense.
Hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense. Um, Yumi Yumi, I might be getting a New Frontier airline credit card. I will see how the Frontier Go Wild Pass works. I actually got targeted for there was a 50,000 point bonus on that card, and I shared it with Tyler, who he's a big fan of the card, and some of his biggest videos were actually on that card for Wild. But he was like, yeah, like it's actually kind of a higher offer for that card, and I was like, but then I'd have to like because I'm not getting my wife on a Frontier flight, so I got to figure out where I'm flying.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, let me know how it goes. Let me know how it goes. It can really work for you if you're in certain airports.
Hmm.
Booking hotels through City is 10 to 12x, and pricing is great. Prestige gives me fourth night free 2 times a year. Yeah, the Prestige continues to be. I think honestly, it is the best card in the game right now. That's like people actually have.
Hmm. Yeah, I could see that. Especially with
It
with
doesn't
all the
look as pretty
benefits
as I thought it
recently.
would look, though.
Nah, it's kind of ugly. It's not the best,
No.
best looking, but yeah, everyone whoever has it is like they love it.
Yeah.
With all
Oh,
the
yeah.
revamps of City recently, like
And that fourth
killing
night
it.
free used to be unlimited too.
Yeah. Interesting.
It's not unlimited anymore, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
I know a Choice hotel that isn't super high end, but their top end room has an in room jacuzzi, which is a nice benefit during the winter. Okay.
Damn.
Fun fact: there's actually some really good Choice hotels in Orlando.
Really?
They're it's the Ascend collection, so they have a partnership with Blue Green Vacations, which who they merge with, Marriott or
I think there
it
was
wasn't.
Hilton.
They're with Hilton now. Okay.
No, I could be wrong. Could be. What is?
They
Yeah,
merged
actually.
with somebody recently. I forget who it was. Maybe it was Choice.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Oh no, it is Hilton. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Completed its
Well, I wonder how long
1.5
you're going to be
billion
able to.
acquisition. Oh,
Wow.
damn.
I wonder how long you're going to be doing it, but you can book the Ascend Collection hotels, which used to be Blue Green Resorts in Orlando, for not that bad on Choice.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Might be a sweet spot.
It might be. They keep closing them.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see what happens with the Aviator Red Card. How many product change to another custom cash once City takes it over? Interesting.
That would be money. I would love that. If I could, I would do that all day. Yeah.
Yeah. I have the Platinum Select, but I haven't had it for a full year yet. I was thinking about doing a product change, but I don't know. I don't think they'll let me. I haven't tried it yet.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think you're able to, but not anymore.
Yeah. But I do like keeping it because my wife and we do fly American a decent amount, and having the free check bags is decent, but yeah.
That's true.
Tim says, I agree. Prestige is absolutely hideous. Oh, yeah. That'd be a good one for the line card.
Yeah, that would be it because you're never probably getting rid of that. So,
No.
Yeah, I made that mistake. I put it on my gold card and then canceled it. Now it's useless.
And one of the things that's weird about City too is like when they product change you still get the same card number, the same expiration date, everything. So like you can definitely like that line card, if you product change it to a City custom cash, it still stays good, which is
really
good. Yeah.
That's good to know.
Yep. If I turn this around, you'd see the same credit card number I had for the last 3 years.
Damn. That's good. I like that actually.
Yeah. And it's really great because if you just say that one is damaged, then they just keep sending you copies. So I have a City Prestige for my car and for my wife's car.
Wow.
Or sorry, no
Okay.
Prestige, Premier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
All right. Oh, Miss Sleepy Rod, is Mr. Venture going to become a real estate YouTuber?
Yeah, I'm dropping everything.
Yeah. You're going to
Doing
be
the real
like,
estate.
who's that Inez guy who does the $1 million properties?
Oh, right. Yeah, that
Yeah.
would be very cool. That would be cool.
Yeah.
I just don't think I think I can get excited about places, but I'm really not great with the words of describing, like, I don't know, some of the fanciful stuff that those types of guys say. It's
Oh,
very hard. It would be hard for me. I'd just be like, wow, this is so crazy. Not like, look at this, beautiful Italian sheen. It's like,
yes.
I don't
Yeah.
have
They
those
know all the
words.
words. Yeah.
Yeah, but definitely putting more content out for real estate. I did like a whole everything you need to know about buying your first house from first time homebuyer and as a realtor recently. But I just decided, I'm like, I don't know, why am I staying limited to just the credit card points and miles if I have other things that I'm interested in talking about? So I think every now and again, going to be sprinkling in like other things. And not just real estate, but real estate happens to be something that I think I could speak to fairly well now. That would be interesting because there's been a lot of changes with it recently, and
Yeah.
it's very contentious at the moment. So I don't know. I'm trying to do anything that I think can probably do well and could be helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could just, do the regular money thing and like do a real estate course, learn, teach people how to become a real estate mogul with no money down.
Well, the thing is, it's like, I don't have a million rental properties, but I have a lot of knowledge from helping a lot of clients, just like,
Yeah.
I don't know, loan programs and how to bypass certain things and how to get get houses for a lot cheaper, essentially, just on that side of it. So I feel like I could definitely help a few people, at least, hopefully, just as I help, myself or clients. But yeah, it's been fun. I liked it. I like doing
Yeah.
it.
Actually, before we get there, Hasamidi is saying I PC'd from AA to CSE and they gave me a new number. Okay,
Oh,
that's good to know.
interesting.
Yeah. And then, of course, Rominikok. I bet $100 that YouTube will destroy I Prefer program within 2 years.
Yeah, you might be a thing because you might be the Mesa card destroyer,
Yeah.
and I'm everything else destroyer.
Yep.
So
what
I
we
think
should
so.
do for our next live? We should be like, what are we going to destroy in the next year?
Yeah, that would be a great title too. Just explosions and everything.
Yeah.
What did we both get? Yeah. Let's destroy I Prefer next day. If they'll let me get some city thank you points, yeah, I will.
Yeah. No, seriously.
100%.
Yeah. I just I keep getting too many sign up bonuses to spend that much on my City Strata Premier.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah. But yeah. Oh, and then Nemo's saying your recent real estate video was excellent. Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Nemo. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate it.
I think any Anthony Venture video is excellent. So
No.
that's why I have him on, so people think I'm a good YouTuber. So
Yeah, right. No, I appreciate that, Nemo. That's very nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's always nervous trying to make a different type of content that you have been for years, but
yeah,
I decided 2026 I'm gonna venture out a little bit.
that's awesome. All right. Well, with that, I think the conversation has come to a close. Despite the fact that we have 70 people on, we're just going to go ahead and call it a day. Thanks so much for being here, everybody. And if you actually do want to have some more one-on-one, hands-on conversation, there's a link in the description below. Or you could actually, if you prefer to go talk to this guy, Mr. Anthony Venture, he has a website too. He offers those consultations as well. He also has a really cool school thing. So it's SKOOL. And he has this really cool membership where he goes through on like how to actually make redemptions and all this really cool stuff. I'm a member. I'm actually a paid member for some reason, it's really a lot of really great stuff. So if you haven't become a member of Anthony Venture's School, I would definitely recommend doing that. So thanks so much for being here, Anthony. I'll let you kind of talk us out.
Thank you for the plug, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's been a fun community. I appreciate you being a part of it, and yeah, just like putting out little things on like how to do a lot of things. We had actually, Phil, you were on the last live call we did on there pretty much every couple of weeks, just, jumping in there, talking through people's redemptions, helping people one-to-one. Because it's like the live streams are great, but that the one-to-one in there where it's like a real, like we're on camera like this talking to each other and being like, oh, let's get these, get these trips done. I think it's been very cool in the private community for sure.
Yeah.
But
and I love that anyone can share. Like if they have a question, they can chat, or they can actually just unmute themselves and just ask you, which is just incredible.
Yeah, and we got Phil was helping people in there. Calby was helping people in there. It was fun. It was very fun.
Yeah.
So I'm having fun growing it. So thank you for that plug, and then thanks for having me. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
very fun. Yeah, and
Thanks for
everybody
being
who
here,
joined.
man. You're awesome. And thank you for being here as well. We love that, honestly, us being here, it means nothing, right? We're just nerds that are shouting into the void. And you guys are what makes this gratifying and worthwhile for us. And so thanks so much for being here. We really appreciate every single one of you guys. And I can't wait to see you guys until next week. Thank you.
Take care.